I hope you're wearing your Sunday best because we are bringing you the best on Sunday. Some high-profile matches, of course, with so many talented teams in CRL West. Pretty much every day is packed with high-profile matches, and today is no different. Hello and welcome to CRL West. I'm Rich Slayton. Joining me as always is my good buddy Andrew Guy, and we have a ton of Clash Royale to bring you today. And of course, as always, the action has been fantastic. We had a great Saturday, ready for a great Sunday. And before we get into it, let's look at our format for how these matches play out.
Yes, Rich, absolutely. We got our 2v2 set to kick things off as always. Next up is the best of 5 King of the Hill set. And lastly, we've seen so many games decided in the 1v1 tiebreaker set, best of 3, and that one has been a slam dunk every single time.
You mentioned 3, Andrew. That's a fantastic number because of these 12 teams in split number 1, 3 of them will be heading to the World Cyber Games in Xi'an, China this July. So if you haven't yet, book your tickets to go across the Pacific. And of course, at the moment, some of the teams are separating from the pack at the top of our standings. And a big standout so far are last year's North American champions, Immortals.
Yep, Immortals at the very top of your charts, as you just said, 2-0. Perfect through 2 games. Tribe Gaming, Pain Gaming, and Cream Esports all tied at 2-1. As you can see, Pain now edging out their Latin American rivals at 3rd place. SK Gaming making their debut earlier this week is now 1-0. Energy, Team Liquid, Complexity, all 6, 7, and 8, 1-1. Team Queso in 9th place finally gets their first victory in their 3rd match. And as we round out the bottom of the charts, we've got Fnatic on a 2-game losing streak, Dignitas on a 3-game losing streak, and Misfits yet to find a win in 12th place.
So today will be a big day for a lot of these squads. We are starting to get into the meat of the season. Some teams could jump up, some teams could fall down. We open up with Misfits versus Fnatic, and then an unbelievably stacked day of matches.
Yeah, Super Sunday is going to bring it to you with Tribe Gaming next up against Pain Gaming. SK Gaming making their 2nd match appearance against Cream Esports. Team Queso going up against Complexity, 2 titans of the game. And lastly, Team Liquid going up against Immortals.
Starting off the day, though, it's going to be the Bad Bunnies Misfits Gaming facing off against Fnatic that has a very stacked team that just hasn't quite found their feet under them yet. Kind of on shaky ground so far.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Both these teams struggling a little bit at the beginning of the season, but as you said, it's still very early. But teams are starting to separate themselves, so this is a big match for both teams. Misfits needs that first win. Fnatic needs to bounce back from that Tribe loss. King of the Hill, Tommy took him down, and these gentlemen are making their way to the arena.
Getting ready for this big battle. Going to the left side of your screen, it is Misfits Gaming. Of course, Baron, the CCGS standout, trainer Chris, who has practically grown up in Clash Royale, Loi, who last year had the most valuable 2 Elixir ever spent with that Sparky and Zap play, and then, of course, Wings, the King of the Hill killer. You do not want to face him in set number 2.
No, that was a clean sweep that he just displayed. And on the other side of it, we've got Fnatic coming out, as always, with their boys, Faye, Javi 14, Asuchini, and Mikel 04. Just barely falling in their last match. In the 5th game of King of the Hill, Javi 14 coming to look to redeem himself today.
This is a big one as we enter the mid-season. These teams need to get a victory today, so they move into the middle in a good spot.
Baron and Loi coming out for Misfits, going up against Faye and Mikel 04 in this 2v2 set.
Very curious to see how these squads decide to play out. And Misfits just getting aggressive, opening up Miner quickly, and the Lumberjack in play in response. Actually, maybe a bit of an overspend, both the Lumberjack and the Ice Spirit. And a 2nd Miner to the safe spot one more time. This one does get a shot.
Baron and Loi struggling to find their chemistry here in that 2v2 set. That's going to be a nice rocket on top of that Ram Rider.
Very well timed rocket. You have to imagine that they've been putting a lot of work in. I'm just trying to correct these kinks. You gotta feel like if you can go into King of the Hill with a 2v2 victory as Misfits, with the power of your squad in that set, that almost feels like you're going to get the win if you do it that way.
Yeah, I mean, we saw, as we talked about in the intros, that dominant display from Wings. I mean, he won 5 of his last 7 games, one of them being a draw, not even a loss, and he just fell a little short.
Yeah, that long, drawn-out 4-game set with Gwen to finish off the day. And Wings, I mean, again, last season his record overall in the season wasn't crazy impressive, but we mentioned over and over again that fantastic King of the Hill record. So if Baron and Loweye can get things locked down, take care of 2v2, you have to imagine again that they'll have this thing sewn up.
And that Ram Rider does connect. Misfits not happy about that. Doing a great job getting early damage in on the tower and great spell cycling damage in on the tower. Miner does activate the King though for Fnatic.
At some point, you got to change your place, and decided to pull the trigger there. So Misfits now fighting against an activated King Tower with a Miner chip deck. Double Ram Riders for Fnatic.
Ram Rider having varied success in 2v2.
Varied success in 2v2 and pretty poor success in 1v1.
Yes. A nice fireball log comes in to clean all that up. Guards also in.
But even with that nice defense, it's Fnatic that comes out with a lot of damage. Ooh, double Miner push, splitting the defense, and now it's Misfits taking a very slight lead as we enter the final 30 seconds of regulation.
And as you look at Fnatic's cards that are on the board, you don't really see any cards with shields. So that means if you send a Miner and a Rocket, if you are Misfits, it should be pretty devastating to the defense that is played by Fnatic. And we saw Immortals have great success with that.
This Ram Rider trying to get through. Another P.E.K.K.A comes down. Miner to the essentially the number 3 spot, front inside. Rocket. And now just rocket cycling. Misfits knows they're in range. Just want to close this out. They have to be careful though. Fireball.
I do not like that naked rocket, but wow, ooh, just barely getting there in time.
Wow, very, very close.
And cutting it a little too close for comforts. Misfits just barely taking that first game. If that poison take was just a second later, Fnatic might have walked away with the W.
Yeah, they saw the finish line, started spell cycling, and it got in just in time. But you know, that spell cycle, you gotta start thinking about that a little earlier on the front end in terms of pacing yourself with those spells and hopefully getting value, not just hitting the tower.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Sending in a naked rocket at any point in the game other than a victory shot is always very, very dangerous. And it does feel like Misfits kind of got away with one there, even though they were in the lead for most of the game. And that is what we call perfect lightning value.
6 Elixir to take out, well, 6 Elixir and some tower damage, so very nice work to open up from Fnatic.
Baby Dragon does get on top of the tower, a second late on that Mega Minion. Now that Mega Minion is just food for Fnatic.
Loading up here to protect this Royal Giant. Royal Giant gets a shot.
Yep.
But did they overspend? Raged up Baby Dragon, gets picked up by the Mega Minion. A little bit behind right now on Elixir is Misfits.
Yeah, this is going to be a big push coming in with the Ram Rider and the Lumberjack.
Oh, that's just perfect, beautiful. Lumberjack takes the tower. Pretty much every step of that push for Fnatic worked out perfectly.
Yeah, and as you called it, that fireball was a big overspend. It even missed one of the troops of Fnatic, and now Misfits really, really struggling. You see the frustration on Baron's face. I don't know if it's with his partner or if it's with himself.
Every piece of that worked out great. The Lumberjack took the took the Inferno Tower aggro, but then helped chunk it down.
Yep.
And when it died, raged up the Ram Rider, who was stunning the alternate Lumberjack, the Lumberjack from Misfits. Baby Dragon comes in, finishes it off. It was just 1, 2, 3, 4 tower down.
Yeah, beautifully orchestrated in Misfits. You saw that they were just like, I don't really know what to do at this point.
This Ram Rider not going to get on tower, courtesy of the log, but again, it's still Fnatic with a slight Elixir lead.
And we did talk about spell cycling at the beginning of this game, and you saw right there, using those spells and not getting great value, overcommitting, the Elixir does flow slower in 2v2. So that 4 Elixir commitment on that Fireball is the reason why you see Misfits really playing from behind right now.
Well, we mentioned this yesterday, and it's important to remember, and that's a big point, that Elixir flows slower in 2v2. 2v2 is not 1v1 with a partner.
No.
It's an entirely different game, and you have to approach it that way.
Yeah, there has to be an incredible amount of deck synergy, communication between the two players, and more than anything, trust, because you're not going to see everything that's happening on the board. There's a reason you got 4 sets of eyes.
Also, those of you playing 2v2 with random partners in the game and just coming out with a full spell deck, what are you doing, man? Help me out a little bit.
Stop doing that to us. And you see right now, Misfits, Baron, and Loai having a conversation with one another about that misplay early on, saying, look, we got to fix that. We got to bounce back in game number 3.
All tied up going into game number 3, and as I've said earlier in this same match, I believe that if Misfits takes this, they will probably take King of the Hill as well.
Yeah, I mean, very, very dominant display from Wings most recently, and this is a lowest tower situation here in game number 3 of 2v2.
And again, Misfits opens with the aggressive miner, and now you see 2 Ice Spirits and a Lumberjack. So the third verse, same as the first in this one.
And it could be the exact same for both teams here. Probably going to see a Rocket coming down soon, spell cycle deck essentially from Misfits.
Faye Mikkel so far loving the double Ram Rider. It's not just today. They've been all about that combination.
And a Rocket that was basically just for the Ram Rider. I don't know exactly how I feel about that because it was going to run into the P.E.K.K.A.
P.E.K.K.A. not going to do anything here.
Nice Ice Spirit there to mitigate some damage, and then the Lumberjack comes down to clean up the Elixir Wiz and distract the Baby Dragon. A beautiful, beautiful order of operations there.
Very, very well played Lumberjack, and here he goes. That same push. Lumberjack this time, though, doesn't go to the tower. Instead, goes over towards the Ice Wiz, so that sequence does not play out quite the same way.
And Baron and Loai playing perfect defense at the moment.
Everyone's slowing down. Faye just gestured to the referee, so wonder if there's an issue there.
And Fnatic does have a substantial Elixir lead in the moment, about 4 Elixir from both players a moment ago.
Lumberjack picked up very easily by the P.E.K.K.A. And now with the Dark Goblin behind, this is going to be kind of annoying.
Yep.
Oh, there you go. Log takes care of it.
And that is just one of those logs you have to send in. You don't want to do it. You don't want to hit only one unit and miss the tower, but those Dark Goblins are so, so powerful.
And you saw Loai there just taking his time, leaking a little bit of Elixir, just getting lay of the land, and that's an early King Tower activation.
This is a fascinating exchange because that P.E.K.K.A. was dropped maybe 15 seconds ago, and now she is very, very healthy coming down the lane, so it's almost as if they have a 6 Elixir advantage on the, or 7 Elixir advantage on the field.
Yeah, P.E.K.K.A. turned around for the miner, but there was nothing coming in behind that, on the backside of the P.E.K.K.A. to take advantage of it being directed that way.
Yeah, and an interesting P.E.K.K.A. with the Inferno Tower locking on Fnatic's P.E.K.K.A. I'd say is an unnecessary P.E.K.K.A., but it is tanking for their miner now. But not the King Tower.
So even with that miner on tower, Misfits still behind, and now Fnatic starting to pull away a little bit more.
Yeah, and that's the danger of 2v2 is you've got to play defense, right? You really need to buckle down and play defense. But if you start to get a little careless with your Elixir, that advantage, or that disadvantage, I should say, really starts to weigh heavy.
Minor fireball combination from Misfits trying to kind of pull the same move we saw from Immortals the other day, although Immortals did it with a rocket and got a little bit more value out of it because 2 troops dropped the defense.
Look at that great poison. P.E.K.K.A., Inferno Tower, Princess Tower, and Dark Goblin all inside of it, and now even the Lumberjack as well. Great spell value from Fnatic, and as you said, they really are pulling away at this moment.
It's going to be very hard to stop this. Spend a lot of Elixir thirsting for it. Baby Dragon on the tower. That's going to be GG. That is it. Fnatic takes 2v2, keeps the pressure on, takes advantage of the spending on the opposite lane, and heads into King of the Hill with a nice little cushion.
Yeah, and you really saw right here in this 2v2 set how important it is to play incredibly efficiently with your Elixir. Now, Baron and Loai did great throughout this set. However, there was just a couple moments where they spent a little too much, and every single time that happened, Fnatic took advantage of it and punished them.
So here we head into King of the Hill, and Misfits once again find themselves in a tough spot. Now, they have worked out of this spot time and time again, both this season and with the 3 players who were on Cloud9 last season. They've been here before. They know how to get to that 1v1 set, but you don't want to be this when you're facing Javi14 and Faye.
Yeah, I mean, Javi14, Faye, and Mikkel04 coming out for Fnatic, and Misfits starting off with Trainer Chris, Wings in the middle, and Baron to close it out.
Starting off, Javi14 top of your screen, Trainer Chris at the bottom. Javi, of course, an exciting knockout artist of a player. Big risk, big reward.
But unlike his friend IMJP, he does find himself playing a little bit more calculated than JP was, and JP was so exciting to watch play. If you made a mistake, he let you and your whole entire team know it.
So pretty slow start here.
Oh, wow. A great snowball to get that Baby Dragon just out of range for Javi14's Baby Dragon to get on that Princess Tower.
Very well played by Javi, and he's showing Ram Rider potentially here. Trainer Chris looking so far like RG Furnace. Both players showing signs of 2 of the most popular decks in the entire CRL West meta, with 2 shockingly low win rates.
I was going to say the 2 least successful decks with the most plays.
So far, RG Furnace has shown up 29 times this season and has a 31% win rate. And across from that, Ram Rider overall 17 plays and only at 41%.
And the funny thing of it is about a lot of those RG wins is their mirror matchups or very close to mirror matchups. So I don't know
what... Discount like half of those RG wins.
Exactly. Javi got that Ram Rider down, gonna meet a Lumberjack.
Does make a connection, so Javi so far out to a pretty nice lead on both sides.
You got Trainer Chris there spending 6 Elixir for 5 and still taking tower damage.
Counter push gets cleaned up very easily. Nice bar barrel in the middle to distract and set up the bandit for her dash. Javi playing very clean in the first 2 minutes. As we enter into double Elixir time, we see him pick up the pace a little bit.
You love seeing those mirror plays on both sides of the screen, or at the top and the bottom of the screen. Just next level gameplay.
That was a nice little bit of dash work from the Bandit, taking care of the Fire Spirit and then the Furnace as well. You see there, Trainer Chris wiping some sweat from his brow.
Yeah, and Javi is just laser focused at this moment. You know that he hates that he lost in Game 5 of King of the Hill to Tommy, and Tommy was finally back to full form, it appears.
Entering into sudden death overtime, Javi currently seems like, even though the lead isn't big, it seems like he's controlling the match.
Yeah, and you see plays like that. Trainer Chris just a hair late on the bar barrel, not able to preserve the health of his Ewiz. It wasn't like a detrimental play or anything. Oh, but that was, what a lightning from Javi14.
And the Baby Dragon, he's forced to drop the Ewiz because the Baby Dragon raged up, does not go to the defensive Baby Dragon, instead gets on tower. So now Javi in an excellent spot this opening game.
Yeah, and just to remind you guys at home, again, this is King of the Hill, so it is a single lowest tower situation, and Javi is in a commanding lead. Trainer Chris has barely done any damage to either tower, and the P.E.K.K.A comes down to meet the Royal Giant.
And RG right at the bridge. You know, you kind of like to play that RG at least a few towers back on the outside so you have time to do some sort of support, especially get a lightning ready. In this case, you know, just trying to get back in the game, not going to happen.
Yeah.
Javi14 takes the first game of King of the Hill.
Yeah, and that was no sweat off of Javi's back. Trainer Chris falls now, not having one King of the Hill victory under his belt. And one of the plays that I love most about that last game was Javi just meeting the Royal Giant at the river and not supporting his P.E.K.K.A until after the RG was out of the way. Obviously, no real risk in losing a tower, and then he mounted a massive, devastating push. Ram Rider, Baby Dragon, game over.
Now he has a tall task in front of him, though. Wings, one of the best King of the Hill players in the game. Question is, can Wings do it one more time? And you don't just have Javi. Behind Javi, next up you would have Faye and Mikkel.
2 home run hitters as well. Looking like early signs of giant double prints.
And this is probably going to be balloon cycle for Javi.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. So we'll see how this fares with probably an E-Wiz from Wings to be his main defense against the balloon.
So it's the minor version of giant double prints.
Mega Minion in there maybe as well. We'll see.
And that's a lot of Inferno Tower value.
Yep.
Very, very nice work, and
a nice zap there from Wings, resetting, recognizing now, okay, the Inferno Tower's out of play. I'll use my zap now to spell cycle, so by the time the Inferno Tower is back in play, I should have my zap back in hand.
So a lot of quick cycle options here for Javi. Lots of different ways to pick up and distract and move and take care of the business coming across the river from his opponent.
Yeah, the Inferno Tower, the skeletons, and using that Ice Golem to kite are going to be very, very effective. There's the E-Wiz coming down.
I love that Javi, despite having lots of Elixir, didn't go Ice Golem Balloon on that push. It was kind of an Ice Golem to say, hey, what are you going to do when I start to set that push up?
Yeah, and you know that Wings is probably thinking, okay, he's running Balloon, so maybe, we talked about this before, trying to bait out a overcommitment on defense from your opponent. And that does happen sometimes. They see an Ice Golem go down and they drop an E-Wiz knowing that a balloon's going to be behind it. And then, nah, I'll just leave an Ice Golem there.
Defensive minor to pick up that Prince as it comes across.
Yeah, Javi probably trying to fix his cycle just a little bit.
And there now we see the first balloon, Ice Golem in front.
So there's the Mega Minion and the E-Wiz. Okay, so he does have all the responses to this very traditional giant double Prince deck.
Death damage does get on tower and E-Wiz damage, so that does work out nicely for Javi. And yeah, these cycle cards are just so frustrating for these princes.
Yeah, I could not have said it better myself. The cycle cards are crazy, and also the Inferno Tower value that Javi keeps getting is really devastating.
That balloon might get a shot.
It will get a shot.
It does. You see Wings just shaking his head. Cannot believe he let that happen.
Yeah, that fireball may be coming down a hair early, maybe a little bit of an overcommit on offense. Javi just playing so calculated right now, so he's just in the zone.
I mean, he's playing really, really pretty Clash Royale. You see that bar barrel coming in, knowing the miner was going to his musketeer, bar barrel coming in to defend your musketeer, and that was huge value. Javi playing really, really clean right now. Miner to the back, getting more damage on tower. At this stage, this is his game to lose.
Oh man, and that will get some death damage on the tower, or even a big hit. Wow!
My word, Wings cannot believe it. Javi 14, 2-0 in King of the Hill.
And Javi is just playing out of his mind today. You know he's playing with a chip on his shoulder after that Game 5 loss in King of the Hill. And now Baron showing up for Misfits has a mountain to climb. If he does take out Javi, he's still got Faye and Mikkel04. And one little last tidbit, Rich, Baron's favorite deck is Giant Double Prince, which Javi just put to shame.
Javi just stomped all over both Giants, their Prince, the Miner, every single card on the board. So feeling the motion right now. Little dance coming out. Gotta love that little Clash Royale EDM. Javi may be going back to Ram Rider.
Wow. And that is just a straight Bandit Connect on Baron's lower right-hand tower. Baron already looking a little frustrated.
That's kind of bananas to get that much damage off of 3 Elixir that early in the game.
And you see that Baron's already spent 7. And now leaking up to 10 Elixir.
I mean, he was just sitting there waiting for the defense, knowing Ram Rider was coming, but still takes a Ram Rider shot on tower. This is really shocking. You see Baron is so unhappy with what's happened so far.
Yeah, I mean, really just a really rough day for Misfits. The 2v2, the King of the Hill not going their way, and Javi just looks indestructible at the moment.
Well, last year for Vivo Keyed in CRL Latin America, Javi played over 60 games, I think like 66 games, at a 62+% win rate.
And here's a very interesting moment where Baron's deciding to go opposite lane, which is usually ill-advised. You usually want to play into your weaker tower, but I do think that Baron is just saying, you know what, I want to stay as far away as I can from that right-hand side.
Maybe just trying to force the Elixir to be spent on this side and decide where the game's being played, but between Lightning and P.E.K.K.A, that's really going to hurt this push.
Yeah, Javi can just leave this alone. He can just let the P.E.K.K.A clean up the rest of the golem, go down for the Baby Dragon. Baby Dragon will get taken out by the Princess Tower, and a very clean defense from Javi 14.
Yeah, really, and look at how calm he is. He's not worried about that. So many players would spend so much trying to stop that, but he knew how much he felt comfortable taking, took it, and now he's still going to put a lot of pressure on the right-hand lane.
And Javi forcing Baron to use that NATO, knowing that the Prince was in the back, nothing else in cycle, because Lumberjack just went down.
Nice defensive Lightning there, stopping that entire push from really getting any momentum, so maybe Baron starting to get some rhythm back.
Yeah, definitely getting some rhythm back, but it might be too little too late. Golem does come down. Here we are. This is what you want to do. You want to meet at your weaker tower so you can't get punished. Opposite lane, and now he's really got to mount some push, but getting through that P.E.K.K.A is going to be real tough.
Expect Lightning to come down. There you go. Perfect timing.
And the Baby Dragon actually sneaks in front of the Golem and gets picked off by the Princess Tower.
And that Q is so devastating. So now, this is just a pile of troops on the side of Javi 14. Even with this Ram Rider not getting on tower, he still has more Elixir on the board and his collectors.
And I believe the idea behind playing that Ram Rider was to make sure the Lumberjack was out of cycle and would cross the river, now having nothing to stop the tanky P.E.K.K.A and the Bandit on the tower. This is going to be a good game and a clean sweep from Javi 14 over Misfits.
And you saw Baron grimace the second that the Bandit came down before it even dashed. The moment that Bandit came down, he knew this game was probably over.
He had nothing to catch it. Otherwise, you just have to spend way too much Elixir. You see here kind of a desperation play in the left-hand side. You got to credit him for trying, but he knows it's over. We all know it's over. Misfits knows it's over, and they are still winless through 3.
And more importantly, Javi 14, some questions answered. People were wondering, leaving Vivo Keyed and the coaches there who helped him really tune his game up to a world-class level, would he still have that level, that skill, moving away from that squad? And I think we just saw the answer today.
100%. You see now finally smiles come out from Javi 14. On that stand, he was laser-focused, a cold-blooded killer, and Misfits was in his way. Wings was probably the best chance they had in that King of the Hill set, and you saw Javi, no sweat off his back.
He's just such a talented player, and you know, even with the losing to Nova in the finals last year, you have to imagine that the amount of confidence that experience gave. It was just him, Kiki, and Gabo. They didn't even have Arima, their 4th player. His 2v2 squad stepped up and really hit it out of the park. He played phenomenally that entire time, and even without winning the World Championship, you know he had to have left that experience knowing that he is ready to play with the best Clash Royale players on the planet.
I mean, sometimes losing on the biggest stage, and that is no exaggeration, the biggest stage. 10 million people were watching that, and he loses in the finals. What does that do to a man that's that competitive? Well, you just saw it right there. He is back for blood.
Unbelievable play by Javi, and great calls as well. It looked like a couple of those deck matchups, he just really knew not only how to play it, but had a strong advantage. And of course, who else would we talk to now than the man who just went 3 up, 3 down? Let's head to the floor where Rachel is standing by with Javi 14.
Thanks, guys. Javi 14 with the sweep through King of the Hill. Which opponent on Misfits was the hardest for you to overcome?
Creo que el oponente más difícil, la parte más difícil a día de hoy fue Wings. Era un match, aunque no parezca, un poco más difícil y, o sea, creo que lo supe solventar bien en todo momento.
Well, he said he thinks that the more difficult enemy was Wings because it was not that easy the matchup, and Wings is in a really good level right now.
Yeah, Wings was playing very strong, but you were able to overcome. So what was so difficult about Wings, and how did you end up beating him?
Pues, o sea, Wings siempre ha sido un jugador al que he respetado y que desde que él jugaba la competición más importante del mundo, yo nunca, o sea, yo siempre lo veía, siempre he sido fan suyo y estar aquí hoy ganándole, pues es como que ves toda la progresión que has hecho.
He said he always respected Wings so much. a long time ago when Wings was playing the biggest competitions, Javi was not playing there, and he was his fan and looking at his matches. And now being here in the CRL, winning him, makes him so proud about his progress and his improvement.
Wow, that's an incredible story to be following Wings as a fan and now to be playing against him here at CRL. As an opponent, were you impressed by him?
No entendí.
Si te ha sorprendido Wings de estar jugando ahora contra él, que has pasado de fan a jugar contra él y tal.
Pues, o sea, como he dicho antes, eso se ve todo lo que he trabajado para llegar aquí y, o sea, ahora mismo las cosas no están saliendo como podría salir, vamos 2-2, pero creo que terminaremos dentro del top 6.
He said that that improvement shows his work, the hard work he did before, and now our performance is not being the good that we wanted to be. That we are 2-2, but he's sure that we're gonna finish in the top 6.
Fantastic. I love the confidence in yourself and in your team. We're going to send it back up to the casters and break down that match.
Thanks, Rachel. Focused, humble, ready to win, and that's Javi 14. Javi 14 has grown so much in the last season of competitive play, and we saw him play out of his mind today.
Yeah, he was very vocal about the amount of hours he spent practicing, and now the pupil becomes the master.
So take a look here. We have some fantastic gameplay, and this really was the final sequence that sealed it. You saw some great defense leading up to this moment by Javi, but this is what changed everything.
Yeah, the balloon comes in, and boom, the miner catches the E-Wiz with the snowball, takes it completely out of play, and that was when Wings shook his head. The fireball comes in just a second early, and boom, the big balloon drop on the tower. That is as next level, that is as next level as it gets.
Yeah, Javi played from the future. Predictive Miner comes in, grabs that, and sorry, you're not doing your job anymore. And what a great way to get the win, and a great win it is for Fnatic, moving up to 2-2. But we are not done. A lot more Clash Royale yet to be played today. Let's get into match number 2.
Two teams making their way to the arena. We have Tribe going up against Pain Gaming, and both of these teams had very impressive King of the Hill showing. Tommy obviously taking it for Tribe in his set, and Pain on the other side bouncing back from a sweep in King of the Hill to take down Wings and his team.
Yeah, Pain kind of sneaking by there, and the last one out. Of course, Tribe has had a few moments where individual players have had their day to shine. J Monty had his sweep. Tommy had his fantastic performance. B-Rad, Spades, Nitrom all ready to start taking some heads and mounting them on their wall. And they got a few heads all the way from down in Brazil across with them. Let's go ahead and take a look at Pain Gaming.
And the Brazilian squad coming out today with, of course, Wen, Surgical TS, Renan Kava, and the man, the myth, the legend, Carnage.
Wen and Surge, and Renan and Surge have been so good in 2v2. How will they stack up against the experience of B-Rad and J Monty?
Yeah, B-Rad and J Monty have a lot of experience together and at CRL, so we'll see whether or not the synergy matches up with the experience. 2v2, Tribe Gaming, Pain Gaming, coming your way.
First game of a very exciting matchup, and you know, Andrew, you said it great. Surge TS, Renan Kava, really playing well together, but it's the whole idea of the experience of these two teammates.
Yeah, I mean, these guys have had great 2v2 showings on both sides. We've got J Monty and B-Rad 4-1 in games. And then on the other side, you got Surge TS and Renan Kava 6-2 in games. Perfect all the way across their 2v2 sets.
I was going to say, I know it's not going to be double 2.6, but you see Log, Skeletons, and Musketeer from Pain, and you're like, come on, man, maybe, that'd be fun. Wouldn't work, but it'd be fun. And we're going Graveyard here from the Brazilians.
Yep, and a Mini P.E.K.K.A showing up for Tribe, which I really do enjoy seeing the Mini P.E.K.K.A in 2v2. It's such a powerful card, does great DPS, very tanky and cheap.
And that's the key word you use there at the end, Andrew, cheap. That saving on Elixir, you know, instead of spending a full 7, spending just 4, and you still get some really solid DPS. and you can put a little bit more to other aspects of defense or to making big counter pushes.
Yeah. And now we see a Lava Hound coming down for Tribe. We've got a poison to counter one of the graveyards. We'll see how they fare against both of them.
Yeah, the dual graveyard, we have not seen it really work beautifully yet, the idea of just graveyard after graveyard. No one's really run it that way. And you have to wonder also, the big question is how long does it take the opponent to realize that they're up against two graveyards?
Yeah, they don't have the luxury of the graphics that we do.
Yeah, and that's a lot of damage on the right-hand tower, down to 11-0-1, so Tribe in a good spot so far.
Now this is probably the moment where they're like, okay, that's way too soon for the same person to be playing the same graveyard. Now we got to watch out for that freeze. A big freeze allows the Baby Dragon to get on tower. That tower is very, very damaged.
And so now Pain takes the lead with the final minute of regulation. Double Elixir, and also a pretty nice little Elixir lead here for the Brazilians.
A lot of air units catch that Giant Skeleton. They're forced to play a defensive miner due to their cycle.
Double lava, and it does quite a lot of damage, down to 801. A lightning, beautiful lightning. Lava still on tower. This is a great spot for Tribe.
Yeah, now both these towers below 1,000 HP, but you know, Tribe in a commanding lead with only 18 seconds left of regulation.
And now they drop both of the graveyards.
Oh, the double graveyard in the one position will get cleaned up by the poison, but that's a lot of skellies, and the poison does have to tick.
Wow, does not totally pay off, and now they are just thirsting for Elixir. Miner back to the King Tower does save, but
there's
with that
the
log,
log,
it's going to put them in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
And there you go, spells come in. B-Rad, J Monty take game number 1. You got to wonder if going both graveyards was a bit of an overcommitment.
And I couldn't agree with you more. That was a bit of an overcommit with a double graveyard. Maybe it could have been used with spells, or maybe support, or maybe just playing defense, but the double graveyard was just soaked up by that poison.
It was a full, I mean, they went all the way in, and it's not that they just dropped a double graveyard, they dropped them at the exact same time, and the hope is that you overwhelm the troops defending, but it's also much easier to clean it up with the spells.
Yes, yeah, and you know, that one poison gets tons of value when you have an overlapping graveyard.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if you stagger the graveyards, force them to start playing, and then kind of juke and make them make a misplay potentially.
Yeah. All right, so a lot of the same.
You know, Giant Skeleton is a card that really last year got its debut to shine as a competitive card because of 2v2.
Yeah.
But then ever since then, in the last few months, you've seen Giant Skeleton appear a little bit more in head-to-head play as well.
Yeah, it did get a slight buff, but it is just so great in 2v2. The utility it provides, whether it is an offensive push behind or in front of a Royal Giant, excuse me, or whether you just play it behind your opponent's DPS troops and it just cleans them all up. It's just such a great value card.
Beautiful opening play by Pain to take the tower down to 1648. So first minute down, and the Brazilians out to about an 800 hit point lead. Interesting here seeing B-Rad and J Monty go with Graveyard as well. I'm a little surprised by this.
Yeah, and will it be double Graveyard? Are they going to vary it up? You know, and if you do use double Graveyard, which we've seen a couple times with not a lot of success, and it is double Graveyard coming from Tribe.
Well, one thing I do know is that a Graveyard deck will win this match. Freeze comes down. Benefits a little bit from it, getting down to 1820.
And so far, we do see a poison in the hands of Pain Gaming, not yet out of Tribe.
Happy to eat the Mega Minion shots and just catch up on their Elixir.
Pain here still going for that weaker tower on the right side, going to give some good poison value to Tribe.
And I like the play here from Tribe, playing the poison high to get some tower damage to take out the support troops, and just let their troops do the work defending against the graveyard and really prevented almost all that damage.
Yeah, very, very nice defense. They just left that Muskie alone, knowing it would not get a hit. 1463 in the bottom right, 1820 in the top left.
Final 30 seconds of regulation, and both squads going in with graveyard pushes, but nothing to support the graveyard push on the bottom right-hand corner, and no freeze either. Whereas on the other side, Tribe now has just really made this thing close.
Yeah, so we've got poisons on both sides, freeze on both sides, a double graveyard from each squad. Going to be very, very curious to see how and who breaks through.
Tribe doing a good job of keeping the tank troops from crossing the bridge, forcing it to be just these graveyard freeze pushes. This one works out pretty well, though.
Wow, I really like that NATO freeze. Not something you see very often just because it's so expensive and you don't really see a 1v1 player doing something like that, but in 2v2, that worked out great. And a freeze comes in for Tribe on the other tower, now taking the damage lead with that Baby Dragon. Another NATO Baby Dragon, that is gonna do it. Wow,
Whoa.
That was beautiful.
Whoa.
That was beautiful. We will have to look at that again.
That was next level 2v2 play, Andrew. I mean, look, I was already stunned seeing the NATO everything together for the freeze.
Yeah.
So you can pull it off, done by Pain on the opposite side. But then you go the back direction and another kind of different freeze play. Rather than waiting to drop the freeze to protect the graveyard, dropping the freeze early to take care of the Ice Wiz, let the Baby Dragons get on tower, pull the aggro, and then that's just gonna be it. That's GG, and brilliant, brilliant move by the experienced duo.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Jay Monty and B-Rad had a moment of conversation. They were like, you know what? We're going to go for the stronger tower right now, because that was the idea, was Pain was not worried about their right-hand tower. B-Rad, Jay Monty saw the opening. They take the freeze, as you said, double Baby Dragons on tower, and then the NATO. So, my goodness, B-Rad and Jay Monty showing up for Tribe. Let's get to King of the Hill.
Still getting set up for King of the Hill, but meanwhile, let's take a look at some of the great action from the end of that. Two brilliant plays, and Andrew, we talked about how 2v2 isn't just two people playing next to each other, it's a team sport, and look at this, brilliant plays on both sides of the board down here in your bottom right. It's Pain NATOing everything together for the freeze, so you're bringing together all those defensive troops, making room for that graveyard. The timing just a half step off, and Andrew, it led to this insane play on the opposite end of the field.
Yeah, you see that Ice Wizard there distracting the units from Pain, and now Tribe is like, all right, you tried that out, I'm gonna try it out too. Here's the freeze, Baby Dragon's on the tower, graveyard comes down, oh, Baby Dragon there, NATO everything on top of the tower, a very, very strong move, and look at that. Tribe says, you can do it, I can do it better.
And the crazy part about that, Andrew, is the freeze wasn't to protect the graveyard.
Right.
As you might normally think, the freeze came in early to protect the Baby Dragons and create that opportunity. So
incredible.
On both sides, great teamwork. But now the second half of teamwork is going up and showing for your team on King of the Hill. So we're opening up. It's going to be B-Rad facing off against Surge TS.
Yeah, and B-Rad has really, really struggled here in King of the Hill, trying to find his footing, trying to find the first win. Surge TS in the same boat, both of them 0-2.
Very curious to see what kind of choices these two players make. Of course, B-Rad, the minor master.
And a big shout out to the ladies and gentlemen in the booth for giving us that amazing replay. Thank you guys so much.
That was pretty. Nice lightning value, and Piggy's opposite lane. I am so, you mentioned this before yourself, Andrew, I'm so happy to see them back in the mix.
Same, and I'm so happy that Morton called them piggies.
Yeah, also true.
Because the world has never been the same since. And you see Surge there kind of really punishing B-Rad for playing that lightning early on, and he does still at a slight disadvantage, but he was able to catch up.
I'm very curious to see if B-Rad is playing Royal Giant. Obviously, the first 5 cards would indicate so, but as you've known, if you're paying attention, Royal Giant, the most popular archetype RG Furnace in the entire league, and with an unbelievably now below 30% win rate.
It has become our personal mission to move Royal Giant Furnace out of the meta strictly due to CRL West and its lack of success. Although, when it plays a mirror match, it does do well, and that's not the case here, but that just means that it probably won't win.
Yeah, when Royal Giant Furnace plays against Royal Giant Furnace is going to win. I mean, that's pretty clear, and I'll stand on that hill.
I will.
Alone.
I'll die on it.
Nice play here from Surge TS. And interesting, as we get later into this match, if B-Rad does get his towers very low, take a look at at Surge's deck. He has the piggies and he has the guards. Two different ways to get lightning blocks if we get to that situation.
That is very, very true. And for those of you that don't know, the way that lightning targeting works is it targets the 3 healthiest units, whether it is the tower and the surrounding troops. So that is why you see some incredible blocks. And OP Sam had one of the greatest blocks ever with the lightning and Royal Hogs in Season 1.
That one was absolutely gorgeous.
So only 550 HP remains on the bottom left tower for B-Rad. Surge T is about 1,000 HP ahead of him.
RG just not breaking through here over and over again, and those piggies will take down that left-hand tower, and B-Rad just has to go in hard on the right-hand side. Does get RG on tower, a couple of big shots. I don't know if he can do enough at this stage.
Wow. 4 shots in, that is huge, and that is a pretty, okay, the Mega Minion does go down. Lightning comes down, B-Rad steals it in the last second.
Look at B-Rad's face. He looks up, he knows he barely skated by. It was a one-shot baby dragon that took the win for him there.
Wow, and now we are all even 0-0. I mean, actually, B-Rad's King Tower is struggling, and we've seen people really apply the pressure, whether you have Royal Giant or Royal Hogs, for that 3 crown.
Sudden death overtime, and Surge does have the piggies, but doesn't have the same benefit of dual lane pressure as he had when it was a 3-tower game.
And I might be mistaken, but I think that was a misclick by Surge. He clicked one tile to the right. The Furnace didn't aggro the RG. The RG was just not played directly in the pocket to target the Princess Tower, it seems.
So here we go, first minute down in our sudden death overtime, and Surge still in control. Now starting to get some poison value on that right-hand tower. Make sure he stays ahead. Remember, King of the Hill, we are in lowest single tower situation, so if the match ended right now, that clock ticked down to 0, Surge would win based on the current tower damage.
And excuse me, I meant to say B-Rad's Royal Giant earlier.
And as a reminder, Spades and Tommy up next for Tribe Gaming. Surge will be backed by Carnage and Wen, the dual Ice Ball Masters.
The double Royal Giant, one going to the King, one going to the Princess, and 3 big shots from the B-Rad Royal Giant.
Wow, very well played to get back in the mix, and now B-Rad is not that far behind anymore. 90 seconds left in this game.
B-Rad getting a poison down, getting some value in, and also getting some very, very, very important chip damage.
This is going to be a very, very important exchange here. The way Surge handles this defense could decide whether or not he holds on to the win, or B-Rad's able to sneak on by and steal it from him.
And pretty perfect defense there. Now the Royal Hogs coming in turn. You know the Furnace is going to match them. Baby Dragon should be able to clean all this up, but once again, a great bit of spell value, and now B-Rad goes for the pocket.
Nice job of the Furnace to push the RG out of the way, and no Royal Giant shots. You know, it seemed like Surge might have overcommitted on the right-hand lane, but just barely able to hang on by his teeth.
Yeah, and that Furnace meeting with the Royal Giant, a great little 2 Elixir positive trade for Surge TS. B-Rad now needing to get some damage on that left-hand tower.
And that's the thing now is Surge, and interesting, B-Rad, I was gonna say, is Surge knows that he's playing to that right-hand side. It's gonna be either in the pocket or directly on King Tower. That's a nice lightning. This Royal Giant could get a couple big shots here.
Oh, wow.
And the Barbarian escaping. Snowball does a little bit, down to 1097. I do not think that B-Rad can get around to a lightning again. It's not gonna happen. Poison down. Surge TS gonna take the win. Very well played by the Brazilian, getting in the win column finally for King of the Hill. So coming up next for Tribe Gaming, the young man from Southern California, it's Spades.
Yeah, Yeah, Spades having only one appearance so far at CRL West, falling in King of the Hill, but I always think that the first appearance should be a gimme. I mean, obviously it's nice to come out and hit a home run, but there's a lot of lights, there's a lot of pressure here, and there's a lot of talent on the opposite side of those towers.
Yeah, just nerves all over the place. Even the experienced players get nervous. It's your first time playing in this big studio, millions of dollars of cameras in your face.
Oh yeah.
People all over. You're not comfortable playing in your couch or on your back porch or wherever you're used to. You're standing up.
Nice battle ram to pull that Mega Minion will mitigate all the damage and create a counter push.
Bridge spam accounting for about 10% of decks played so far, but again, still winning at a 62% clip.
And it looks like Surge might be running a Golem deck.
Does feel like it. Although
BM going back and forth.
Yeah, right? Although it does also feel right now that certain support cards, and you're looking at 5 of them right now, those 5 cards feel like they can be in literally any deck at this point.
Yeah, honestly, they feel like they probably have the highest play rate out of any of the cards in the game at this moment.
So Spades playing the Musketeer Prince version of Bridge Spam, which has become more popular as of late.
Kind of battle ram right into that Lumberjack.
And I believe this deck is currently undefeated, the one that Spades is running. 3-0 thus far.
Yeah, did we see Vulcan play with this the other day?
I think that's right. Double Elixir time. Might we start seeing Surge pick up the pace, potentially? Looking like he is playing that Golem deck, so we'll see if he drops one at 8. And there you go, Golem in the back tower. Nice work, Andy.
Thank God. And you see here, keeping pressure up on the right-hand lane, that's what you have to do. That way your opponent has to pick and choose where to spend their Elixir, not being able to support this Golem. An Inferno Tower is not in play, I don't believe, because this is a bridge spam deck, so he's going to do, that's a very nice play. Now the battle ram going towards the Lumberjack is good, because now you have the Barbarians there to help defend, help support.
Although that Lumberjack's going to pop, and now as the support cards come in, this could benefit Surge. There you go.
Yeah.
And there you go. The Golemites get on tower. Lumberjack behind. Rage the Lumberjack. That's going to be it here. Surge TS is about to take out his second tri-player. Very, very well done by the young Brazilian. Sao Paulo, where are you at CRL West?
You can see the frustration on Spades' face, but not today. Surge is going to take this one.
And this is it. That's the man right there, Tommy, the Nicaraguan ninja. The last chance for Tribe to stay alive. But with the way he's playing right now, I wouldn't want anyone else up there for the boys in red.
I couldn't agree with you more. And, you know, Spades had the right idea in mind last game by trying to pressure the right lane, but he used his highest DPS card, which then in turn was needed for the Golem defense. So it was a very good effort by Spades, but not executed properly. Let's see if Tommy can repeat what he did the other day.
"30 seconds away. BB Dragon will not get to tower. And Pekka to open behind the King Tower from Tommy. He must feel like he has enough to defend the left-hand lane, and Balloon comes in. I really wonder what Tommy's got in store.
Oh,
Lightning!
Wow, the lightning. You know when someone as good as Tommy plays a Pekka that aggressively in the back, he's got a big plan for defense, and you called it perfectly.
And that didn't even get death damage on the tower, so it worked out really, really well for Tommy, who's playing Pekka Ram.
And this is the moment where Tommy, I think, just needs to pump the brakes. He can let he's going to throw in another snowball. The Ram Rider will get to tower. That Pekka will get to tower, too. That is why he's up there, and I'm over here.
Oh.
Great plays from Tommy. Look at that.
My God, that was wild. Tommy, perfect defense on his end, perfect offense on the back end, and that's why I said he's the man I would want up there right now in this situation.
The snowball on the minions was just perfect. It felt like it could be an overcommittal, but it just bounced him far enough out of range, and look at that. Surge just going to eat the bandit, knowing, all right, I got to put together a massive offense if I want to take this.
This is going to be really tough for Surge because now he has to play on this side defending just the one tower, and Tommy has a lot of nice defensive options. Ewiz down early, Baby Dragon behind.
Yep.
Will Lightning be needed to finish this off? There he goes.
The Zap Fireball played by Surge TS to get the Elixir Wizard out of play.
Snowball.
Yep. And right now, Surge has got to feel the wind being taken out of his sails. And that, even the Bandit dashes on the Tombstone instead of the Skeleton out front. All things falling the way of Tribe and Tommy in this particular game.
If you could write how you want this matchup to go, this is the kind of thing you wouldn't believe if it happened in a movie.
Baby Dragon in again. Now, Surge really trying to pressure the right-hand lane. Does get the Lightning in again. Very well played, but that balloon should get to tower.
Snowball, and just a little bit of a misplacement on the snowball allows the balloon to connect. 13 seconds left. Tommy needs to hold on here. He should be able to, but that was very, very close. Nearly stolen by Surge Tees. Instead, Tommy getting a win and keeping his squad alive.
Carnage up next for Pain Gaming. I don't know about you, Rich, but if I'm Pain Gaming, seeing Tommy play that well in Game 1, despite taking down his two teammates in the King of the Hill set, this doesn't feel like you have that big of a lead.
Yeah, that could be a difficult situation for Carnage to come in. Of course, there's one thing we know about him is he is unbelievably confident.
Yeah, and the other thing too is that with the first set going to Tribe, that just means Tommy can come back out in the 1v1 set and continue to do what he does best.
So Carnage may be playing just standard P.E.K.K.A. Ewiz bridge spam. Looking more and more like it. And is it possible that we're seeing Minor Rascal's Loon from Tommy?
Bar barrel in, perfect bar barrel to catch that Bandit.
That bar barrel on Bandit timing is so annoying. The number of times when you accidentally miss it just by a half second.
Yep. Looks like Tommy might actually be playing Order. And yeah, as you were saying, Rich, the pros make it look so easy. It's not. It is not easy to get that timing.
So this is a big push in Fireball value there.
Yeah,
and a nice bar barrel.
Yeah, very well played. A very cheap and effective defense by Tommy.
Tommy should consider playing this professionally.
Yeah, maybe we could talk him into it.
Here we go. First minute 15 down, and so far Tommy playing a very, very clean game. Rascals will pick up the Bandit, and yeah, minor bait.
P.E.K.K.A. comes down. This is when you might see a defensive mortar come in, but it does depend. There we go.
So is this the exact same construction that you play, or are you one or two cards off here?
Just a couple cards off. I actually prefer the Dart Goblin and the Log over the Bar Barrel. Or excuse me, I prefer the Minion Horde and Log over Bar Barrel and Dart Goblin. But that's why I'm up here.
Fair enough. So here we are entering into double Elixir time, and so far Tommy's still ahead and takes advantage of knowing the cycle and just gets right on tower early.
And there's a lot of plays that you've seen Tommy make that might not really stand out to you if you're a newer player, but you know, playing the Rascals all in one lane because he knows that they can't get spelled out by anything other than a poison, by throwing the miner to the inside of the tower, knowing that there's no tornado in play. These are just plays that come naturally to pros.
Also, it wasn't just the miner to the inside of the tower, but it was sort of the timing of it where, oh, look at that beautiful Fireball Bar Barrel combination.
Should be able to get back after his Rascals. There we are.
I mean, yeah, that whole defensive sequence was really beautiful by Tommy. What I was saying there about that miner was it was also playing knowing that Ewiz and P.E.K.K.A. weren't available to pick up. So at best, it's a Bandit pickup, but again, he timed it perfectly off the Royal Ghost.
Yeah, and that miner maybe just a hair late or a hair too far behind, maybe trying to pull that P.E.K.K.A. back, but I don't think it's going to be too consequential.
Nice single shot from the mortar, so that's a big one heading into sudden death overtime. Tommy still playing very much in control.
And that Dart Goblin is demanding a response, and they're probably going to be there to pick up the Bandit to keep that mortars healthy, and that will get a shot on the tower. I like to imagine this is what it's like when I play mortar, but it's not.
Yeah, I feel like if I'm putting myself in this matchup, I definitely feel more like I've been in Carnage's position a lot more times than Tommy's.
And you recognize the spacing of the units, and that's a big couple hits from that Royal Ghost that Tommy did not want to take. You understand preserving the Elixir, but the P.E.K.K.A.'s going to come down once again. Yeah, this starts to get pretty frustrating, but he should still be able to take this if he maintains exactly the composure that he's had throughout the first 2 games.
And if Tommy had just played that miner to the inside of the back rather than the outside, that might have pulled the P.E.K.K.A. and we could be in game over. But instead now he has to play some really, really good defense here. Battle Ram gonna connect. That's a huge shot. Carnage putting Tommy on the ropes.
Yeah, that is very unfortunate. He was just a second behind with that mortar. The P.E.K.K.A. did connect, making it that Battle Ram a clean, straight shot to the tower, and now Tommy is not feeling good.
Bandit's gonna get a dash off. Oh, Mortar just barely picks it up.
And once again, it's so frustrating going into a P.E.K.K.A. with the mortar. You got to figure out a way to distract the P.E.K.K.A. or take it down so that mortar stays alive, because you know a Battle Ram is coming.
This is an insane tempo shift. Carnage now the one in the driver's seat. And Tommy's got to do some real magic here not to lose this one. Under 90 seconds remain. We are in lowest single tower, but I doubt we'll need it. Tommy now at 321, so in really dangerous territory.
Ooh, that is a very nice play. Rascal should come down. No, he's going to have to do the bar barrel. That is not going to keep that mortar alive.
Wow! Another mortar.
And he's so close to fireball range. He just needs to get one more miner on the tower. Got to save the health. Stay alive here. Got to see. Yeah, the miner coming in on defense is the only play he had.
Wow. Wow, and you know it's the only play he had because, oh my god, miner almost escapes.
Rascal's come down. You know the mortar's going to be going up high.
Beautiful fireball, but now that puts it to the point where Carnage is in spell cycle range and Tommy is not, so he needs to land a miner fireball or this is gonna be it.
The mortar demanding a response up high. You know the miner's gonna go in the back. Will it get caught? No, it does not. Fireball needs to come in, and that should do it. Tommy should have it. There it is.
Wow, and that's just, look at that, the poison was down. Carnage so close to stealing this one, and you see the breath of relief from Tommy. He just, again, I said it last season, I'll say it one more time. He is not human. And it all comes down to this. Tommy, one game away from the reverse sweep and closing out Pain Gaming. Wen has been here before and wants to send his squad to 1v1 one more time.
Yeah, what looked like a commanding King of the Hill performance from Pain Gaming is immediately taken out from under them by Tommy. Now, that's not to say that Wen can't still take us and send it to set number 3, but not the position they thought they were going to be in 2 games in.
Wen running some minor cycle. And you see Tommy going, okay, I see you, bro. Most of these guys are so on edge right now.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen what happens before, and yep, another mortar comes down. I am excited.
Probably will distract the P.E.K.K.A. with a couple of these little tiny cycle cards.
It's just funny because they basically switched roles. You know, we got a P.E.K.K.A. and a spammy deck at the bottom now, and mortar at the top. Probably going to see.
I just don't know about this Ram Rider deck. I mean, in Tommy's hands, anything can happen, but
yep,
he already did take down Surge's Lava Loon earlier today playing P.E.K.K.A. Ram Rider.
That's going to make quick work out of that mortar. Ooh, Ewis does not get the shot off on those archers. Going to stay healthy. Probably going to have to eat a bit of damage.
And that's the value of Ram Rider right there. Just a little bit with that stun, able to do a little bit of damage and forces a response, saves some of the damage opposite lane, forces out the defensive miner.
And Tommy takes a slight Elixir advantage now with a bandit on the field.
You see all that and you're like, but my Ram... Oh, man.
You see him look over to his bench. He tried to get cute. I love it.
Tommy was trying to predict those skeletons and got the card right, got the timing right, got the placement wrong.
Yep.
Although he perfectly picks up that miner to the back.
Wow, and that's a very, very healthy P.E.K.K.A. on the field. No miner to the tower, and now we're going to see how Wen responds.
That's a nice lightning.
Yes, it is. Maybe Baby Dragon right behind. Yep, there it is.
Tommy misreads the miner placement. Wen goes to the set to the back end tower second time in a row.
And I was just gonna say, we're probably gonna see that rocket come out for Wen now. This deck is not as easy to play as some pros might make it look. And Wen's playing it very well right now.
Yeah, that giant snowball forcing the bandit to come down and support as well. So Tommy now in a bit of trouble here. Wen playing really, some of his, I would say so far, some of his best gameplay.
And the high Baby Dragon to try to target that mortar.
And the moment he expects that lightning coming in, he's sending Miner to the back. He's timing that knowing you're gonna spend 6 Elixir right now. It's gonna be harder for you to play defense. Let me get some chip damage.
Yep, so now you gotta pick and choose. Do I play defense or do I try to support my P.E.K.K.A push and kill those rascals? And honestly, right now, neither of them are really happening for Tommy.
Mortar down. Miner to the 3 spot, and a very nice place. So Tommy guesses wrong and plays late, gets the shot for Wen.
Tommy's really gonna have to make something happen on this push to put pressure on Wen, because right now Wen is in complete control of the game. That quick cycle, he's able to get the Rascals back down so easily. Rocket comes in, and now he goes opposite lane, but there will be a mortar in. No, there's not a mortar, he's just gonna ignore it.
Wen just giant snowballs, gets to the back. Nice E-Wiz to pick up the Miner. So Wen thought he might get the better of that, but went to that same spot. At some point, maybe Wen might want to mix in going to the safe spot one more time. Tommy's been picking him up there now in the back.
And now with the Rascals out of cycle, Lightning's gonna come down. Will he play a P.E.K.K.A to try to beat? Doesn't have the Elixir for it. He's gotta pick up that Miner.
Maybe a bit of an overspend there on the Lightning, but we will see.
And now the 2 DPS troops are down from the Rascal Girls, but Archers and Skeletons come in to stop that Ram Rider. Excellent plays by Wen.
Nearly connects, and again, E-Wiz to the back. And now you see Tommy is hovering with the E-Wiz rather than dropping the E-Wiz to pick up perfectly. He's sitting there waiting a little bit, knowing the Miner's coming in, and dropping that half step late to make sure that Miner's not getting tower shots.
And it is a relentless pressure from Tommy. He does get the Ram Rider on tower now, just just about 30 HP ahead, but that Miner comes and evens things out. Baby Dragon does not get on tower.
Whoa.
He needs another troop to catch the mortar.
Whoa, wow. That is wild. Wen just took it. Beautiful work to take down Tommy and send his squad into the 3rd and final set.
It looked like Tommy was unstoppable for 2 games there, but Wen controlled that game from top to bottom, and you saw it. Tommy almost got in there at the end, but Wen was not worried.
And you see Tommy giving the claps there at the end, because it wasn't like there was a bunch of mistakes there. He just knows that Wen played absolutely brilliantly. He gave respect where respect was due. Wen, like I said, was playing in that game some of the best Clash Royale we've seen him play yet this season.
Yeah, and just as you said, Tommy just tipping his hat to his opponent, knowing, look, you outplayed me. You just straight outplayed me. I'll see you in 1v1.
Very, very likely. So we're going to be heading to our 1v1 set in a couple of minutes, in a couple of moments here, and we'll find out who they're playing. They do have some options on both sides, so do you go with the 2 big players? Will we see the Tommy and Wen rematch, or will someone throw a bit of a juke in here? No surprises here. You know what you're gonna get. It's the rematch. Tommy versus Wen. We just saw some fantastic gameplay. Guess what? You're gonna get at least 2 more games, maybe 3, heck, maybe even 4.
And you see the good lucks coming out from both of these stars, knowing, all right, this is a formidable opponent. I gotta give it everything I got. And it starts off with an exact mirror match. Only 2 cards played, though.
Mega Minion, not gonna do much. Wen knows that. He kind of played that right into its own death.
And you see the snowball coming in so that those Fire Spirits do connect, and that keeps Tommy's Furnace alive and now demands a response. That was a great play.
Brilliant
Next level play, honestly.
So little has happened and so much has happened already.
Barb's coming down.
Nice time in on the barrel, saving those barbs from the Fire Spirit damage.
The guard's tanking for that Musketeer, taking out the Musketeer of Wen, and now providing a ton of support for Tommy's.
So here we go, Tommy playing the Royal Hogs, the Piggies, and it's RG Furnace from Wen.
And we've seen how this has fared before. Hogs came out on top. Let's see if Wen can change the tune. That is the Royal Giant Furnace, and it's endless endeavors here at CRL West.
Yeah, Wen, are you crying because you realize that we don't want to see RG anymore? Taking a slow down and chooses the Furnace up. There is a very specific Furnace timing.
Yep.
Oh, well, forget that one.
I was just going to say, we're about to see it.
I was going to say there's a specific Furnace timing where you can drop your Furnace in a way where your Fire Spirits take out the opponents and get Furnace damage at the same time.
Yep.
With the slowdown, thought maybe we might get to that point, but not quite.
And here we go, Tommy switching lanes with his Furnace, now sending in the Royal Hogs. You had to figure a big onslaught was going to be coming. And that Musketeer of Tommy's very, very, very efficient in its damage, taking that RG down to below half health before it even gets a shot on the Furnace. But Wen has another one for the right-hand lane.
Yeah, that's really, really nice when switching lanes, getting the second RG down, and you know, a lot of people go, when you play RG behind the tower, some people go like, dude, you're playing that like a regular Giant. Why not playing RG right at the bridge? That's old school Royal Giant, especially with how with the extended range. New school Royal Giant, double Elixir, play it behind the King Tower, build up some Elixir, potentially throw down some big support, or another RG as soon as that one goes down.
Poison coming down for Tommy on top of the Furnace and the Princess Tower, and the BM's rolling from Wen, and Tommy a little annoyed by him, I think, with that eye-rolling Goblin.
Very nice lightning, and Barb Barrel going to take care of a lot of that pig damage. Snowball to come in to help and support. RG does not get a shot, so Tommy now putting things a little bit closer, though still playing from pretty far behind. 40 seconds into sudden death, and opposite lane for both pushes.
Yeah, the Hogs going into a Furnace is never a play you want to see as a Royal Hog player. However, that Royal Giant will not get a hit in on the tower.
A nice play on the Barb Barrel to clean that up at the end. 2 minutes left in the match.
But Wen's got a substantial Elixir lead, and he knows it. Just a relentless assault in the right-hand lane from Wen, but now kind of allowing a bit more than he thought was going to break through on the left-hand side from Tommy. And Tommy should be able to play strong defense on this, although the Lightning, oh wow, never mind, the Musketeer's on the tower.
Wow, and that's going to be it. Wen just took it, and now he's going, look, I don't even know what cards are anymore. I only have emotes, and I'm going to hit those as much as possibly can.
And for 2 games, Tommy looked unstoppable. Wen may have his number, now falling 2 games in a row to the Brazilian.
And Tommy now is going to have to try to find a way to time this Lightning and see if he can pick it up with the Royal Hogs. I don't know if it's going to be possible, though. Very, very difficult to do.
And the Lightning comes down.
And that was it. Yeah, Tommy wasn't even going to waste time on that one. Reset, regroup, go into game number 2 and try to get one back. The question is, how will Tommy get that one back against the way Wen is playing? Wen now on a 2-game winning streak against his Nicaraguan counterpart.
And you wonder if Wen is starting to get inside of Tommy's head. You know that those BMs are frustrating to go against, especially on the CRL stage. And when a guy's got your number 2 games in a row with high-level gameplay, now the mental games are going to start to play.
Dark Prince seemingly everywhere. Andrew, I actually went to pump gas, and it was a Dark Prince behind the register.
And that zap was actually great from Tommy, allowing the charge to get in on the Ice Wizard.
Oh, wow. What a combination here from Wen.
Wow.
The Graveyard Freeze. And look at him just relax, start tapping. He's like, let me just watch my handiwork go down.
Oh,
and
my
that
gosh.
tower might be going all the way down. Baby Dragon on. And now it's down to 163. That could not have been a more beautiful sequence from the Brazilian.
I'm speechless. That was unbelievable. He completely ignores the bandit dash, and you see it was because he had something else planned for Tommy. Freeze can definitely catch you off guard.
Tommy not even thinking about that tower now. He goes, let that one go. I'm going to try to fight this back on the other side.
Now, if there's anyone that can come back, it is Tommy, but it does feel like Wen just is kind of his kryptonite in this moment.
That was gorgeous. I mean, that was a lot like the 2v2 plays we were talking about earlier. Got the graveyard down, NATO'd everything together, froze it.
Oh, wow. Battle Ram connects, Bandit connects.
Defensive freeze, but still going to eat a lot. Bandit alive, and the Barbarian as well. And Pekka gets on tower.
Swings on the right. Wow.
We are in a firefight.
And look at Tommy. He is feeling himself. A moment ago, it looked like there was an insurmountable journey to come back from, but when a couple of misplays, mental mistakes, if you will. And Tommy feeling okay with that poison, I guess because he feels very confident about his defense here.
Yeah, Tommy was ahead on Elixir, figured might as well get the spell cycle in, and I understand why. Down to 35 seconds, he's gonna need to zap and poison that anyway. So good idea. That's heads-up gameplay, actually, knowing he had to put that damage on as early as he could to make sure he didn't run out of time.
And look at his defense here at the river, doing a great job, but still has enough Elixir for the zap. There we go. And now this is the moment. Do I poison? Do I play defense? What do I do? The freeze is in hand.
Wen knows that he has to poison his tower, so this is a great move by Wen to go in. And there you go, NATO in. So he knew Tommy had the poison. He capitalized, kisses the pain logo, puts his phone down. Hey, Wen, you still gotta win this thing.
144 HP on that tower. This is basically over. And Tommy, wow, he had one amazing exchange there that looked like it brought him back into the game, but not enough. Wen comes out and takes down Tommy 3 games in a row. You know that the next time these two play each other, that is all that's going to be on Tommy's mind.
That was really unbelievable. That was the best run of games we've seen Wen play. He is on a new level today. And again, it was that opening play with taking the NATO, the graveyard, NATO everything together, and freeze, took that tower, and then on the back end, just the way he was able to play on the right-hand lane and get the job done. Unbelievable. I am just so impressed by Wen right now.
And that is a tough, tough loss from Tribe. After taking that 2v2 set, you see right here the respect from Pain Gaming to Tommy, knowing, wow, we got away with one. Our boy Wen took us to the victory. Tribe falling just a little short.
I mean, how do you beat that? A guy playing that way in those moments, it's really, there are times when you get into that flow state where everything you're doing just works out, and you saw the confidence there from Wen, and he wasn't relieved when he got the tower down at the end. He knew the poison was going in that direction. He knew he could just go ahead and sell out and take the victory. He wasn't relieved. He was like, yeah, I'm perfect right now. Try to beat me.
Exactly. It's like you're playing right into my hands. Oh, you want to bandit at the river? Great. I got a freeze for you. And you have nothing for the baby dragon, nothing for the graveyard. And it's not often you watch Tommy play, and it looks like he's kind of always trying to catch up.
Yeah, and again, you saw the reaction from him both on the front and back end.
Yeah.
He just knows what he ran into. He knows what he was playing against, and that was a guy who's already a talented player playing at his top level.
Yeah, and that's what you have to do. That's what you have to do if you want to take down Tommy. And look, Tribe had a great showing, okay? They did excellent in the 2v2 set. They came back in King of the Hill, and Tommy was the one that made it look like they were just going to edge it out in 2 sets. But Wen had some other plans for Tribe Gaming today.
That's got to feel pretty rough, getting 2v2, getting it taken care of. You're ahead. Tommy comes out and nearly completes the reverse sweep. And out of nowhere, some kid with hair as white as snow comes out and just snatches it from you. So, of course, who else will we speak to heading down to the floor right now? It's Rachel standing by with our winner.
Thank you guys so much. I'm down here with Wen. An excellent couple of matches against Tommy to secure the victory for Pain Gaming. And your team, once again, thrilled to have you up here again. Their celebrations, I think, are top tier.
Nosso time, como sempre, deu show aqui de comemoração. E que, como é que tu sente em relação a isso?
Eu sinto que para um time ser campeão ele tem que ter esse espírito esportivo, ele tem que jogar toda essa energia positiva para fora. Então, sim, tá certo, a gente tem que comemorar muito, com certeza respeitar nossos adversários, mas tem que comemorar muito.
He said, yeah, with all the respect, if a team wants to be the champion, it has to like to cheer everyone up, like to have each other's back, and that's what we do.
Well, you cheer the audience up too. We have a great time watching you and Tommy. You're both heavy on the emo buttons. So what are you trying to convey to each other there? Are you trying to get into his head, or is it a little more of a solidarity moment?
Entendeu? Falou em relação ao BM, que vocês dois mandaram muito emote durante a partida. Tipo, foi em relação ao quê? Foi ficar mais tranquilo, provocar, foi o quê?
Acho que as duas coisas, a gente é bem amigo também fora do jogo, e o BM serve também para descontrair, porque tava um clima tenso, a gente tava no último do King of the Hill, então não foi nada pessoal, só foi por amizade e pra distração mesmo.
He said it was like nothing to provoke each other, like they are friends, a lot of friends, and they just did it to relax and to be like more confident and calm and to play the best.
I like to hear that you guys are both getting into it, and that it's all for good sportsmanship's sake. As I understand it, you guys are actually fairly good friends with Tribe Gaming. Can you describe to me a little bit about how you work together and how you guys are friends and your relationship?
Entendeu? A gente é muito amigo da Tribe. Vai te falar mais sobre isso, como é que sente em relação a gente ganhando deles, são super amigos. Fala aí.
É sempre bom ganhar dos amigos, né? O máximo respeito a eles, mas antes a gente ganhar do que eles, né? Tem que cada um defende seu lado, mas fora isso a gente é tudo amigo. Eu torço pra eles também, que eles vão bem nessa competição e eu acho que eles podem muito bem revirar essa competição e voltar a ganhar.
Yeah, he said we are like a lot, we are so friends and we support each other, like we want them to go so well, but one against one, we have to support us, and we have to win, and that's what you do.
Of course, I'm glad to hear that you can leave the war on the battlefield and remain friends outside of the game. But for more of that war, we're gonna go back into the casters and break down that final match.
The breakdown is fairly simple, Rachel. It's that Wen played 3 of the best games of his career against some of the stiffest competition he may have ever faced.
Yeah, and you love the camaraderie on the field. You love the sportsmanship. And one of my favorite things about Pain and Cream that we were missing last season was that celebration that you talk about. This whole entire room is lit up with excitement when these guys celebrate with plays like that. It deserves celebration.
Yeah, they are pumped up. Look, this is the pro leagues. This is as big as it gets for Clash Royale. So let it fly a little bit. And that's the Brazilian passion, right? They brought it all the way from Rio, from Sao Paulo, all the way up here. And I expect the celebrations will get bigger and bigger the more they win. And some more wins coming your way in a moment. We've got Clash Royale all day. Let's go. Two down and 3 to go, and what a number 3 it's about to be. This is a big one. Cream Esports facing off against SK Gaming.
Yeah, SK looked absolutely indestructible in their first showing. However, Cream has really hit their stride, so this is definitely going to be a battle of the Titans.
They ran into a bit of a buzzsaw against Immortals, who are just so fantastic and very dialed in, struggling in the 2v2, and then, of course, Lindsay can't carry everything, but a new day, a new matchup, but you also have a brand new Soking who is fired up to be playing.
I have never seen Soking so lasered in that last showing. He looked like the best in the world again. As he said, that's where he wants to be, that's what he wants to be known as.
Players making their way into the OGN Super Arena on the left-hand side. That is Cream Esports. The young man with the chain, Jose Brayan, Lindsay next to him, Flash and Diego E, all in the mix, ready to get into a dust-up here with their counterparts from SK.
And on the other side, we have SK Gaming with a star-studded roster. We've got, of course, SoKing, XOP Sam, Sergio Ramos, and Morten. 4 of the best players, 4 of the most famous and accomplished players in the entire world, and they are definitely an intimidating squad.
And Andrew, I bet this right now, they probably have the tallest roster in all of CRL. I don't know if that'll help, but we're about to find out when we go to the towers for 2v2.
Cream versus SK. OP Sam and Morten coming out for SK, and Flash and Jose Brian coming out for Cream Esports. Flash is 2-5 in games in the 2v2 set, and Jose Brian has yet to find a win.
And of course, Morten, we've said before, one of the best 2v2 players in all of the European region last year, and continuing those results so far with a 2-1 win in their first outing.
Giant Skeleton dropped in the back for Cream.
It's one of the many places to drop it.
That is. There's a lot of tiles you can select from on your side of the map.
And here we go, Graveyard Freeze.
People are immediately with the poison. You were saying people are playing this a lot?
People are playing this a lot. It's happening. Of course, we just saw some fantastic Graveyard Freeze play the other day, and okay, look at this. Firing back is Cream.
And those Skellies are going to get a lot of tower damage in with the late poison coming down.
Very late on the poison. A little surprising there. See Jose Brian chatting up a storm. The Battle of the Baby Dragons. It was going to be the first episode of the 9th season of Game of Thrones, but then they decided to end it early.
Oh, you got me. You got me that time.
Musketeer, we need any support for? Yes, we do. And nice, they cover up the Musketeer with the Giant Skelly inside, or outside, and the Baby Dragon inside. So keeping that Musketeer on for a long time, and now SK just going, dude, get that Muskie off the board. Skelly's come down to wipe her off.
Cream out to a very nice lead. But as we saw in the first appearance of SK, it took one game for Sam and Morten to kind of get in their rhythm, and then they were firing on all cylinders.
Oh, we do a King Tower activation. So the question is, can they keep enough health on this tower at 992? So now they're going to have some support against these graveyard pushes with that King Tower activation.
And a lot coming down the lane for SK. Will they be able to get some damage on that tower? Yes, Skeletons are on. Freeze
and
comes
that's
in
double
late.
graveyard.
Wow. That is a nice late freeze, and as you just said, a late double graveyard. Wow, Baby Dragon still on the tower, and just like that, SK takes the lead.
High Inferno for SK, and look at, now they're playing the freeze on the King Tower as well, just making sure they're not going to get any help from that cannon. Comes in at the end there, so good damage, but at the moment, with 16 seconds left, it's SK in the lead.
Yeah, and no tanks crossing the river for Cream on that last push right here. A good freeze coming in from SK. You got to imagine a poison's going to come down relatively soon as well, but they do not want to overcommit.
Yeah, I think SK's going to save the poison defensively. It should be coming down right now.
There's the poison and the NATO.
Doing everything they can, but now the Giant Snowball. Now, we are in
that's
range.
going to be tower down, I believe. One more tick from that poison. 19 HP, and SK takes it.
Wow. 19 HP, that's one of the closer ones we've had this year.
And you see the frustration between Flash and Jose Brian. Let's see if they can get that communication on the same page in game number 2.
That finish was absolutely razor thin. I can't wait. Maybe get a chance to look at that later when I go home and rewatch. That was wild.
19 HP. And you saw Morten and Sam. They honestly couldn't really believe what happened. But it was really about the frustration between the two Cream athletes, recognizing that they just really dropped the ball on that one.
Well, can they correct? You know, they are having some 2v2 troubles. Of course, they just played Crap and the God RF. Now they're up against Morten and OP Sam, who are looking really, really good so far.
And the funny thing is about Morton and OP Sam for SK is it does feel like the 2v2 is their quote-unquote weakest part of their lineup because you've got Soking, Sergio Ramos waiting for you in the 1v1.
I can't wait to see what Sam has in store when he does get into King of the Hill.
Same.
Because, you know, you have no idea what he's going to put together.
I believe you coined the term mad scientist last season because his decksmanship, also a term that I coined last season,
decksmanship,
is out of this world. I mean, him and Expo Master are the two best non-meta deck players out there, and they are fascinating to watch.
Royal Giant from behind.
Skeletons and Ice Spirit just distracting that Baby Dragon long enough to keep it off of the tower, getting any splash damage.
Very, very nice work there. Very nice work from Cream.
Nice lightning comes in.
Giant Skeleton trying to get across the river. Does pick up the aggro from the Princess Tower.
Wow, and that is a giant Skelly Bomb on the tower and a bunch of skeletons.
Oh boy.
Wow.
Say bye to your tower. You're not going to see that one again.
And now what looked like a very, very close matchup from game one. Almost looked like SK stole it from Cream. Now in a dominant showing in game two.
1 minute remain, double Elixir time, and Morton and Sam firmly in control.
With the NATO, the freeze, and the poison, and the giant skeleton, you've got to imagine this is going to be near impossible for Cream to break through. Now that SK has the luxury of focusing, oh wow, and now in Inferno Tower, they have to focus strictly on offense and Cream, and SK can focus strictly on defense.
Very interesting. Lightning does not hit the Inferno Tower. Look at that. So I was going to say the RG went outside the bomb to the left hand away from the Inferno Tower.
Wow.
The NATO pulls it in. Yeah, at this point, it's just elementary. SK Gaming cleaning up, playing beautiful 2v2 after a very close game number one.
And you see a lot of head shaking on the side of the Cream Tower. And honestly, I understand the frustration. It looked so close in game one and a few misplays in game two. They got caught by that freeze and the giant skeleton bomb early on. And SK very, very easily takes set number one.
That was really, really impressive. People wonder what 2v2 would be like for this squad, you know, being a rebuilt squad of brand new relationships. And Morton played so well with his teammates from last season, but you throw in Sam, who's a very smart, very analytical player, add him into Morton, who is a great team player, put that together, and it is beautiful synergy.
And now, Cream Esports has to run into, I don't know, Sergio Ramos, or OpSam, Morton, maybe Soking will come out and just run the table again.
Yeah, I mean, that's a real meat grinder to go through. And again, you have the young kid, Jose Brand. We expect to see him. Lindsay, can he go through another big run as well?
King of the Hill coming your way.
So here we go into King of the Hill and the buzzsaw that is the roster for SK Gaming. Of course, King of the Hill has been a good spot for their opponents as well.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Today we have Flash coming out against Sergio Ramos, making his CRL debut. And honestly, this world champion has more to prove than anyone else on that stage. Does he still have it?
Sergio Ramos, wow, that's a big, big addition to the CRL West universe. Of course, he was with Nova last season, but not seen a whole bunch, and of course, not seen over here in the West. And we're talking about a guy who won the biggest title in Clash Royale, the CCGS World Champion.
Yeah, I mean, he was the very first competitive player that I ever watched on YouTube. You know, that match, that tournament was the first time I'd ever watched competitive Clash Royale. And, you know, I'm a little starstruck as well.
Well, the question is Flash starstruck?
I think he's just trying to stay very focused on his phone and nothing else.
Sergio Ramos, top of your screen, Flash at the bottom.
Balloon coming down with the miner immediately, a very, very aggressive play.
Hunter takes care of that fairly easily, but we do get death damage, so works out fairly well in Sergio's favor.
He's got 5 Elixir to respond to this.
And beautiful kite.
Exactly. Wonderful play.
And that's the benefit of this cycle deck. The Miner Loon with, I believe, the Musketeers going to be in here as well, as it does give you a lot of recovery options. So even if you do go in hard on a Balloon Miner push, you're unlikely to be caught without anything to respond.
Yep, and here we go. A Balloon with a Miner once again, but Mega Minion in cycle, and now a very healthy Sparky making its way down the right-hand side.
Giant Snowball, nice and easy work on that Balloon outside of death damage range. So how will Sergio Ramos deal with this Sparky? And nice turning it in for the Barb Barrel.
And that way the Barb can focus on the Sparky instead of being taken down. I wasn't sure what he was going to do. That was picture perfect.
We've seen 2 tight moments from the CCGS World Champion so far, and he has played them both very, very well.
And right now you see Flash has just given up his Elixir advantage. He wasn't sure what he wanted to do. He didn't want to overcommit in any lane. The fast cycle of Sergio Ramos allowed him to catch up.
2 minutes down, entering into double Elixir time, and there you go, protecting your Musketeer. Miner in front and Balloon opposite lane.
And now you guys are going to see, you're going to see an Ice Golem Balloon push that the Miner is out of cycle.
Giant Snowball certainly is going to be coming in there.
Probably going to surround the Sparky with Skeletons or Barb Barrel again, and then hope that that Inferno Tower takes it down very quickly. There's the Skeletons. They do not surround, though.
Wow, that was a beautiful prediction Barb Barrel by Flash to get the Skeletons, but still, there you go, 1434 on the tower. Great play by the Cream player.
Yeah, a definite misplay by Sergio. He really wanted to surround that Sparky instead of placing all of his units right in front of it. The Barb Barrel was there, but he still could have come out on top. And a great play, as you said, by Flash.
Wow, the prediction from Flash coming from the future, and that might get a shot. There you go, picks it up with those Skeletons. He's gonna need to do something else to pick up. The last Skeleton does survive. We are now in sudden death overtime, and things have gotten heated.
Lightning does miss the Inferno Tower, but it does not matter. A lot of units coming towards that tower. Sergio Ramos is now drowning, and Flash is holding his head under the water.
Another Ice Golem Balloon play, and defended the same way again. The Giant Snowball's gonna come in here and push that Balloon back.
And that Hunter is just devastating.
This time there will be death damage, and the Miner's still in the back of the tower, so that's quite a bit of damage here on the left-hand lane. On the right-hand side, another prediction Barb Barrel, but instead right behind it's the Ice Golem. Very, very nice defense from Sergio Ramos. Does eat the one shot from the Barbarian.
And you can see that Sergio is not pleased with himself. And now this is going to be tower down. You can see the Spear Goblins are attacked onto that tower. Game over. Sergio Ramos coming out. Welcome to CRL West, my friend.
What a big win for Flash in that moment, and some great heads-up plays. Of course, that prediction Barb Barrel was beautiful, but you already took down one superstar. Guess what? Here comes another Morton on the tower for SK Gaming.
And what a way to start your King of the Hill career at CRL West by taking out Sergio Ramos. Now, again, we said it before, I believe you should give them a bit of a mulligan on their very first performance, but obviously you want to come out and really make an emphasis on your first day in the league. Sergio just didn't have it in the cards today.
I mean, he had a tough situation. That Giant Snowball and Hunter together was going to be there to stop that Balloon pretty much every time unless he found a way to outcycle, and he just couldn't find that route.
Yeah, and don't forget the Mega Minion, you know? There was just so many responses, and he didn't have a way to retarget the tower onto the Miner, but that's neither here nor there. We got Morton coming out with, oh, you know, then Flash is playing a Royal Giant. Look at that.
All right, so Flash going big once again. Morton going with some bridge spam.
Yep.
And a few big shots from that Royal Giant.
Bandit's gonna dash in and tank for the P.E.K.K.A here.
It's so interesting seeing this old school Royal Giant deck in the mix again.
Yeah, I know. Its defensive capabilities are so very strong, and you see there Flash not super excited that the Bandit got a dash on his tower.
Tombstone's up early to slowing down the path of that Dark Prince.
Morton looks like he's in a different stratosphere than his phone.
I kind of want Morton to look behind him and then be scared by the giant Morton behind him.
Battle Ram coming down the left side lane.
No need to tombstone. Easily takes care of the battle ram. 2 minutes down, and it's been pretty slow going so far, heading into double Elixir time.
Minions in the back on the right side. You can imagine Morton is trying to mount some sort of push here, or maybe he's just trying to bait out some units. Looks like it is the latter.
You wonder if you might start seeing Morton go with a Royal Giant in the back after a good defense. And you see here, he's pretty high on Elixir. RG in the back, let it get to the building. Oh no, he's just gonna go straight. Oh, sorry, Flash RG in the back, not Morton.
And Morton meets that with a P.E.K.K.A. Lightning comes down, hits the tower, the E-Wiz, and the P.E.K.K.A. Need to support it with some minions. Here we are. And maybe a battle ram behind. Oh, opposite lane.
Yeah, Flash just a little bit ahead on tempo at the moment, and that's paying off. And you saw there, he was able to get that RG in with the Lightning right at the bridge and do quite a lot of damage. He can get that RG past the P.E.K.K.A. Unless that RG is supported by something else, the P.E.K.K.A.'s not enough to keep it from getting a shot on tower.
Yeah, and once again, P.E.K.K.A.'s gonna meet the RG. Now, Lightning here is ill-advised because there is a shield on the Dark Prince. You see Flash holding it this time. And a big push coming down the right-hand lane. High tombstone. Those skeletons are gonna go down with the splash damage of the Dark Prince.
This is really, really nice defense from Flash. Really beautifully executed. Not able to pick up that final bandit dash, but you call that a win overall.
100%. It's pretty inconsequential damage. You see these towers are about at the same HP now. That was perfect.
Oh! Not happy about that Dark Prince getting all the way in. Suddenly Morton making things a little bit tighter, a little more interesting.
About 500 HP separate the two.
And now Morton's the one applying pressure, a little bit ahead on Elixir as well. Meets with the P.E.K.K.A. immediately, but he needs to get some stuns potentially on this Royal Giant. You see one shot down, and now Morton is in quite a lot of trouble.
Yeah, he was forced to use the zap there. You know that if he plays a battle ram, the tombstone will come down. You know, Flash doing such a great job of holding it. And again, this deck is so powerful defensively.
So forced to play the late tombstone to pick up that bandit.
And so now you got to imagine Morton's going to try to find a way to apply pressure with the battle ram with that out of cycle. However, there is still the Ice Wizard and the NATO.
So he does get the E-Wiz down. Now the P.E.K.K.A.'s hopefully can stun long enough. Bar Barrel comes in right-hand side, though. Will get onto the E-Wiz. Can he stop the RG push? He does. So that's the secret there.
Yep.
Getting the P.E.K.K.A. E-Wiz together. That's the magic to keep that RG off tower.
Lightning comes in, but that's a lot of Elixir. He will get the tombstone down in time. But will it be enough? P.E.K.K.A. on the tower.
Oh, a zap there might have been all the difference. Morton had the Elixir for it, but playing really, really cautious. Does not seem to have E-Wiz and P.E.K.K.A. in cycle.
This is it. Do it. One shot in. There we go. Lightning is all that Flash needs. And wow, Flash takes out Sergio Ramos and Morton. SK is vulnerable.
You gotta wonder what's going through the mind of Flash right now. He just took out two big names, playing some of the best Clash Royale of his career, and he has one more, and probably the most confusing one to play against, OP Sam, the mad scientist.
I cannot wait to see what type of deck Sam brings to the table. If it's RG Furnace, I'll be a little disappointed, but he will play it out of his mind.
Minor Dark Prince.
And we see Gob Giant Sparky, signs of Gob Giant Sparky very early on here from Flash. Sam putting a Prince down in the opposite lane.
This might be Giant Double Prince with Minor.
Oh man, this is going to be a tough one to defend. That is locked on the Musketeer and not the Miner. This is a very, very bad exchange for Sam. However, he does get a lot of damage down on that right-hand tower, but probably not what he thought was going to happen there.
An unfortunate eating that last Sparky shot, and you see Sam there going like, oh, come on, really? He does have that right-hand tower really under duress, but Flash is once again in the driver's seat.
Yeah, just playing out of his mind right now. And now he has to go same lane as a Gob Giant Sparky. So let's say that Flash plays perfect defense because, well, he has been playing perfect defense. And then he can mount a massive counter push once again going into Sam's second tower.
Well, I like this play by Sam, slowing down a little bit, playing the poison on that side. You know, I'm interested here by Flash going into the King Tower. That is the lower side at the moment. But with the poison out of cycle, I'm wondering why you don't go the same lane in that your opponent's trying to hit.
Probably just trying to not make it so he can't compile troops on the weaker side, maybe just distract him for a bit. We'll see if it pays off, but you know Sam has one goal and one goal only right now, and that's to take out that right-hand tower. A great lightning.
Sam has just been a hair late every time on picking up those Sparky shots, and that's why we're in the situation we are at the moment.
Miner comes in, as you see, he really has to split his Elixir, and he gets a hit on the left tower as well. Nice pickup on the right.
So Sam can poison out that Miner at any time, but also Flash knows it. He knows poison. So there you go. He's gonna get the poison, get a little extra damage on the Sparky. So that's the right move here. Very smart play by Sam, keeping himself in the mix.
As you said, a little surprised that Flash is just gonna be playing into the poison when it was in cycle. You mentioned earlier playing out of it when it wasn't.
Smart by Sam not to spend extra on that Sparky, not to get freaked out by it. And now in a little better situation.
We got a Miner double Prince deck with a Musketeer, so it's like a Miner double Prince control deck.
This is who Sam is.
Yeah.
Taking things that you know, putting them a little twist on them.
And Sam's in the lead now. That's the crazy thing about this, is he's in the lead now.
In the lead, but behind on Elixir by quite a bit. So much Elixir on the board right now for his opponent. Lightning comes down, and he just has to stay above water, and he is in a lot of trouble.
Wow, this is going to most likely be a 3-crown. That Barbarian is very healthy on the tower. Musketeer out of the way, and boom! A 3-crown Sparky shot from Flash. Count it, Sergio Ramos, Morton, and OP Sam get swept by Flash.
That was a beautiful performance by Flash. Great choices coming into each and every game, and even better gameplay once he got in there. And this was just a really, really difficult situation for Sam, and every single moment that he had to deal with that Sparky, he was just a half step late, a little low on Elixir. And it's like you're stuck in a room, you thought you had 4 doors, you walk around and suddenly they've been drywalled over.
Yeah, I mean, I cannot believe the show that Flash just put on for us. That was unbelievable. I mean, he played Gob Giant Sparky twice. He played Royal Giant Control once. And he just took down 3 of the best players, 3 of the most famous players, accomplished players in the whole world.
Before we head into our 1v1, while they're getting ready, let's go back and look at one of the key moments, one of the greatest plays that Flash made in a pile of great plays. Yeah. So here we go back to the beginning against Sergio Ramos, that Miner Loon deck. And check this out, Andrew, as Sparky gets to the river. We get some first defense, but it's the second thing that happens here that's crazy.
Yeah, the Barbarrel comes in and distracts the Sparky for just a moment. Barbarel's dropped early and picks up the skeletons. Boom! Sparky shot on the Musketeer and the tower. Next level plays. That's why you have to vary up your defense.
Perfect prediction from Flash, and it seemed like he was playing that way the entire time during King of the Hill. Of course, that's how you take out 3 of the best in the world back to back to back. And of course, now we're going into 1v1 where we have 2 players who have both done the same thing in Lince, facing off against Soking, who just came from that 3-game King of the Hill sweep against Team Liquid.
Yeah, Soking sat back in King of the Hill. He's like, you know what? I got the last match. You guys can take this one. But no, sir, you need to show up today and help your team out. Soking, Lince, 1v1 tiebreaker set. Here we go.
Lince opens up, Miner in the safe spot. Soking nothing to directly pick it up.
And I like the idea of benching, if you will, Flash after what he just did. I think you need to give the man a bit of a break. He just ran through 3 of the best players in the world. Maybe a little bit too much pressure on that young man.
Also in that situation, you know, you're starting to get to the point where now we're preparing X number of decks for play, right? So now you have to think of possibly you're running the same decks that you just saw against Soking, or trying to go deeper into your deck pool when you've already, for potentially 3 or 4 more games.
So far, Lince is showing Giant Double Prince with Miner, but it could be something different.
I mean, look, we just saw the Miner Double Prince control from OP Sam.
Exactly.
I was shocked I didn't see a heal come through there at some point.
You might be seeing Graveyard at the top of the screen. There we go. Graveyard followed up with a Bar Barrel and an Ice Wizard. A bit of an aggressive Graveyard, but you see great poison value here from Soking.
Really great poison value, and the Ice Wiz forced to be picked up by the Dark Prince as well.
Oh, and a great high Dark Prince to catch the Miner and the other opposing Dark Prince. Great plays, and you see Lindsay a slight bit of frustration on his face there going, okay, you got that one, you got that one.
Yeah, Soking played that great. You know, usually you put that catching troop closer to the tower, sort of even maybe in that middle tile rather than the high tile, but he knew he had to do double duty.
Exactly. He figured out all the things, all the threats that were coming at him, and the worst case scenario was that the Miner stays on the tower as opposed to the Dark. I mean, excuse me, the Dark Prince gets to the tower. You can ignore the Miner. He got lucky catching both.
So Prince opposite lane, Bar Barrel to pull it inside. That Prince will go right to the Tombstone.
Tombstone, a great counter for the Prince.
And nice poison here by Soking to get some damage on the... Oh, and a cheeky tornado to finish off the Giant and the support troops.
Keeping his Prince very, very healthy. Oh, and it turns just in the nick of time. A great Giant by Lindsay to keep his DPS troops healthy and shielded.
And there you go, Miner Fireball and Miner on the tower. This is a big moment here. If this Dark Prince can get away, maybe get on tower as well. No, met by the Dark Prince, but the damage is done.
Oh, the splash is still there.
Wow.
And Soking does not like that one bit.
Soking seemed to be completely in control, and just a couple of balls bounced the wrong way, and suddenly he's the one in trouble in Lindsay, looking like he's in the form that started off the season.
And that E-Wiz is still alive. So much Elixir spent to take it off the board. So much utility provided by that E-Wiz. Soking having some bad luck right now. Or
and
maybe...
Oh, and he's not had a chance to play his Graveyard in a while, so now we finally see him get a Graveyard down. But Princess does not target the Baby Dragon, so Princess Dark Prince doing a good job cleaning up those skeletons, but a few skeletons do escape, and the poison, that is a ton of damage. Still behind Lindsay by about 500 HP.
And great timing on that Tombstone to make sure that the Mega Minion does not attack the Tombstone itself. A NATO should be coming down.
This is a very, very tense match. You can feel it in the room.
Lindsay feeling very good about himself right now, but Soking with Graveyard, as we've said many, many times before, Graveyard is a card that can just take a game from you instantly. And this might be the moment. That might be an overcommit with the Miner. Poison comes down, Skeletons on the tower, Baby Dragon tanking.
The NATO trying to create some more DPS. Another Ice was on the tower with
the
one
skeleton's alive. A zap comes down. That should do it.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Giant down, and so now Soking just has to get back around to a poison and avoid this last bit of damage. He does not pick up the Miner.
No, Fireball in. 40 HP. Where's the zap? No zap. Look at that.
God, vamos one more time. He takes the headphones off. Soking does it again. Lindsay, certainly a talented player, has shown that here so far, but now back against the wall against a fired up and so far perfect in CRL West Soking.
Absolutely perfect. 3 games in King of the Hill, 1 game in 1v1. Can he be beaten?
You know, every time I see someone open with a cycle card like that, I'm just wondering if it's the first time we're going to see 2.6. I know it's probably not.
Yeah, we haven't seen 2.6 once this season, and I'm really wondering if we ever will. You see Soking look over. Are you awake, man, or what's going on?
You do something else? You just didn't like your skellies? So you gotta wonder now if this is just a beatdown situation and that's why we're waiting, or if someone doesn't want to flinch. Lindsay could very well be running Golem.
I was just gonna say he could be running Golem. Skeletons will pop into that to help this cycle, so that and they're also really great at picking up things like a Prince in the opposite lane, things that can punish you.
Yeah, that Golem Prince deck is also, the Skeletons are a part of that.
Yeah. Soaking, on the other hand, who knows? Lava Clone, Golem.
Full spell deck. That's what I'm going with.
You know what? He could probably pull it off.
Spawner. He's going Spawner. It's going to be Barb Hut, Goblin Hut.
Man, do you remember that time when Barb Hut, Flying Machine, that deck, that Siegs, our good friend Siegs ran that deck
no-win
for a
condition
while.
deck.
Yep.
Took over the casual gameplay, made a couple of appearances in CRL during Season 1, and then the pros figured out how to beat it.
Yeah.
And that was that.
You just don't overcommit, and you chip away. So here we are. You gotta imagine that the pressure in Lindsay's mind is just extrapolating. It's getting heavier and heavier and heavier, whereas Soaking is like, hey man, I mean, I got a game to lose still.
It does. Soaking is looking over going, hey man, I'll do when you do, and there you go. Golem comes out 5 seconds early.
Pekka comes to beat it.
And you see the slight smirk on Lindsay being like, okay, I get it.
And there's the Prince. We called it. With just the skeletons being dropped, we have our moments.
So here we go. Golem followed by Lumberjack.
Oh, and the freeze! Lightning comes down, but Lumberjack is still alive. Will go down with that Prince lance.
So Soaking still plenty of Elixir to pick up this Prince.
And he zaps to stop the charge. Ice Wizard comes down. Oh!
That's really unfortunate that he took that damage. And now he P.E.K.K.A.'s up again behind.
Yeah, he has to take the damage from that Baby Dragon there after the slight misplay on the Ice Wizard.
So here's the Anaban deck one more time, the Prince P.E.K.K.A. Balloon deck. Most likely that's what we're going to be seeing here.
This is a big push coming down.
So now the Ice Wiz taken out by the Lightning.
I was going to say P.E.K.K.A. should be back in cycle for Soaking.
So you gotta wonder, when does Soaking start popping his offense? When does he start putting pressure on and keeping the Golem off the bridge? And there you go. There you go. And if this gets through, this could be it.
That is a dangerous push. There is way too much Elixir on the right-hand side of your screen. That is a raged-up balloon on the tower. It will get pulled. The king. Tower down.
Wow.
Freeze in. Lindsay knows exactly what he just pulled off, and Soaking is not happy about it.
Oh my gosh. Lindsay knew that deck. He was like, dude, I know you're running the Anaban balloon deck. I'm waiting for you to do that. Popped, he baited that in, got the win. That was beautiful play by the Cream Esports player.
You know, we've described this game as speed chess meets poker, Rich, and that is exactly what that is. He baited out that Lumberjack balloon knowing he had the NATO in hand, and Soaking bit hard, and he knew it. He knew it was over immediately.
And look at the body language difference from Soaking right now. Now, he is one of the best players in the world when he feels confident.
Yeah.
But, you know, we've heard this from coaches before. He is a tiltable player. He most certainly is. So the question is, does he mentally, emotionally recover in time from knowing what just happened to be able to play at his best right now?
He does look frustrated and slightly uncomfortable up on the podium. I just can't get over that, man.
That was absolutely bananas. That was bananas. That should be in Lindsay's highlight reel for the rest of his life, even if he switches to being an accountant.
One big Lumberjack swing on the tower.
And Soaking goes to the same deck again, it looks like.
It could just be...
This might be the same matchup one more time.
I bet you Soaking doesn't bite this time.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not. Well, the question now is, does he start getting his balloons out earlier, keeping the pressure on, preventing Lindsay from getting golems down?
Very nice NATO skellies to mitigate all the damage coming down the lane.
And there you go. See, balloons earlier, make Lindsay play defense. Don't let him control the pace and play the way he wants to play.
NATO comes in.
Lightning takes care of a lot of what Soaking was hoping for there, but still he's forcing Lindsay to spend Elixir.
And that zap was very, very nice. Lindsay's getting very close to being able to golem up, but he'll probably wait for about 10 more seconds before he decides to commit.
Well, he's ahead by 2 right now, so I wouldn't be surprised.
There it is.
There you go. As I say, he's ahead by 2. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes up a little bit early just because of that Elixir advantage.
That's 3 seconds off.
All right, third verse, same as the second.
Here we go. see the freeze coming down.
And Lindsay nodding. He's like, yep, I expected to play it this way.
Yep. Lumberjack isn't there, though. Before Soaking was playing the Lumberjack early, and it was getting picked off by the Prince. Now saving the Lumberjack to help rage up that balloon.
Yeah, a little more cautious this time. I do like the shift, and exactly what you said, Andrew, saving the Lumberjack to make room for this balloon to get through. And that's a nice freeze. Lumberjack taking out the Prince as well.
Lumberjack down, Rage down. Rage did not go down, I think, as soon as Soaking had expected.
But he does take the lead now. Remember, this is the tiebreaker game, so this is a lowest single tower situation. Being ahead at this stage, very, very important for the Spaniard.
And I love that high Pekka because that keeps you from wanting to play your golem. You gotta defend. You know the balloon's gonna come in. Lightning comes down, freezes in, and that is a 1 HP balloon.
NATO. That's the big key here for Lindsay, is just make sure you're timing that NATO well.
Maybe, okay, yep, there it is, the golem in the back.
And this time Lindsay's gonna have Lightning ready.
Now the NATO is out of cycle at the moment.
Yeah, but Soaking has, he's not gonna start going wild and not preparing, not focusing on these golem pushes. Oh, very, very nice skeletons.
Yep.
And this time he gets the Lumberjack down as well, and the Prince pushes through, the golem pushes through. Prince gets on the Lumberjack.
A raged up Pekka. Soaking has enough Elixir to get back to, oh, he's gonna go freeze instead.
He's playing much more conservative, and it's paying off. Right now, he has not taken a single hit point of tower damage, and he's ahead with just 2 minutes left.
Golem in the back again. There is the Lumberjack balloon in the opposite lane.
And this is a much safer time than at the, the last time it was Golem at the river,
and that's
now,
one drop from the balloon.
And that's a big drop, because now look, Soaking's already back up at 9 Elixir.
Yep.
He can defend in this lane, and he has a very large lead with just 100 seconds left in the game.
This is the moment where if I'm Soaking, I might just play defense for the rest of the game. You see Lindsay being a bit frustrated. Lumberjack comes in, takes out the Prince. Barn Barrel a bit late. And Soaking in a very, very comfortable position with 85 seconds left to play.
Soaking has played pretty much perfectly for the last 5 minutes. He just needs 75 more seconds of that level, and he will sew this thing up for SK Gaming.
This has been an all-out war, Rich. Set 1 to SK, set 2 stolen by Cream, and now Lindsay and Soaking battling for their teams.
A lot on the board here, but tons of Elixir for Soaking. Gets the Pekka down, does a great job.
And honestly, that raged up Ice Wizard did a great job as well. Now 40 seconds left. And if I'm Lindsay right now, I'm feeling the heat. I'm feeling the pressure. I don't know what to do. How is he gonna break through?
He's in a golem high. He has to golem high. There's no other option.
Instead, he goes for the lightning, and the freeze comes down from Soaking. We're gonna rage up that balloon once again. NATO comes down. There is no way for him to get through with another golem push. It's gotta be something else.
Nope, that's it. That's it. He's not gonna get on tower. Prince is gonna be dead.
Wow.
King recovers from one of the craziest outplay moves we've seen in CRL West to clinch this thing for his squad. And you don't even see a Vamos this time. You just see okay, I won. Is it over? Can I leave? Can I leave? That was absolutely wild.
I mean, we know how emotional Soaking is as a player. I bet you he is pissed right now. He did not like the way that second game went down, and he fought back for his team. And there you go. SK perfect through 2, despite getting swept in King of the Hill. SK on top.
So here we go, game number 4. So close, the last one. Soaking did a good job of making adjustments. Will they make adjustments to their deck choices here in this tiebreaker match?
Well, if I'm Lindsay, seeing how that last match went, or the last game went, I would definitely change up my deck, and he does, okay. So we are now in a lowest tower situation.
That baby dragon going right down the drain for Soaking.
Misses one of the fire spirits with the bar barrel, but does get on Furnace for a second.
So here we go, potentially playing Golem Prince is Soaking this time around.
If you can't beat him, join him. And Lindsay most likely playing RG Furnace, the guards variation. Although we have seen guards and Lumberjack in the same deck before. Royal Giant down.
Whoa, and there's so much Elixir, and Soaking raising his hand and complaining. I'm not sure if it's just about what happened in the moment. He is very, very, you can see him, frustration all over the face.
Yeah, and you gotta laugh it off and recoup. You know, not sure what happened there, but he is not happy. Sets his phone down.
Soaking just happy to watch the action, or I guess unhappy to watch the action here for a moment. We've seen Soaking put his phone down before, and the last time it happened, he ended up winning the game.
Yes, that is very true. He thought he lost by a spell. He didn't. He picked it back up, and he won. So I don't think that's the case right now. Lindsay just keeping up the pressure. Soaking does play a very high golem. Skelly's come in to pick it up.
Soaking at this point looking like his game plan is to just stop that push and hope he can go for a 3 crown.
Yeah, the big question mark is what happened early on. What did Soaking see?
Well, no 3 crown coming. That's going to be a win for Lindsay. Beautiful performance, and of course it all came down to that opening play in game number 1, or in game number 2, that really put Soaking on his back foot.
And you see Lindsay with the small fist bump there, really proud of what he put together. Soaking very frustrated, and as you said, this is a very dangerous mentality for him to be in. Hopefully for him, things go his way. But we'll have to check in with League Ops, and we will be back maybe in a minute.
Well, for the moment, it's Lindsay celebrating with his squad. Very, very well played. You know, I don't know, Soaking looked to the outside, not the inside. Maybe look to his bench rather than to League Ops. Lindsay played unbelievably well. I mean, it looked like this was going to be all over before King of the Hill, and then Flash comes out and just swipes all the way through SK Gaming, and then Lindsay comes out and does it one more time, and that game 2 outplay was just unbelievable.
Yeah, it looks like this is going to be it. Soaking recognized he may have overcommitted on his offense. Lindsay was able to bounce back with that big Royal Giant push, and now Cream Esports edges out SK, who honestly was the favorite in this match.
Unbelievable play by Cream Esports. SK Gaming has to be gutted. It seemed like they had it all put together, and then just, it's, you know, what's exciting about Cream right now is, again, this is, we've said it a number of times, no Cody Go, no Luke Dubs.
Right.
And it's these players who have been less heralded coming through and playing out of their absolute minds.
You would expect this from Lindsay, honestly, with what he's done so far at CRL West this year. However, the MVP of the day, other than that NATO, was Flash. Flash played absolutely insane in that second set. And again, he took out Sergio Ramos. He took out OP Sam. He took out Morton. And he set his team up for victory.
Flash is a great player, but today he was a God-level player.
Yeah.
I mean, and you go from him to what Lindsay did there in 1v1, going all the way to 4 games. And this really is a Cream Esports team that bounced back from that Immortals loss, that gutting, that hard Immortals loss, to a beautiful performance, and that shows a lot for their mentality.
And that's what you have to do. You can't be perfect through the season. It's almost a curse if you end the regular season perfect. You need a loss in there to learn from your mistakes. And Cream, if that's the only loss they have from Pain and Immortals, there's no slide on that. Or excuse me, just Immortals.
Let's head down to the floor where Rachel's standing by with our winners.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Flash. Flash, you did an incredible job in the 2v2, cleaned up in King of the Hill, but actually returning to 2v2, I wanted to ask, we saw you playing with Diego before in the 2v2s. Now you've switched over and you've started playing with Jose. So I want to know, what about playing with Jose you prefer?
Simplemente fue estrategia, o sea, no fue que prefiera a Diego o a José. Simplemente fue estrategia del equipo y no salió como esperamos, pero afortunadamente pudimos ganar el partido.
It was the strategy. He doesn't prefer Diego or Jose Brian, but it was the strategy behind.
And that strategy definitely allowed you to pick up 2 wins there. Then moving on into King of the Hill, you took out 3 enormous names in Clash Royale. How does it feel?
Se siente muy bien limpiarse a 3 grandes jugadores que admiro y respeto mucho, pero afortunadamente logré sacármelos y fue una victoria o algo clave para el equipo.
It feels really good winning against 3 players that I respect too much.
Well, that respect showed through, but they've got to respect you now after that. We saw actually a beautiful play in your match against Martin, an excellent prediction with the Sparky. Walk me through that match and that particular interaction.
Yo saqué el Chispitas porque era algo como lo que me sentía seguro y sentía que podía sacar muy buenos matchups contra ellos. O sea, esa fue la razón por la que lo usé.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I use Sparky because it is a deck which I feel really comfortable, and I felt like I could win all the matchups.
And last question, in your 2v2, you were playing well, but what happened in those matchups that you happened to lose?
No sé, no sabré decirte una razón por la cual perdimos, pero trataremos de hacer lo posible para que eso ya no pase.
I don't really know, but we will try to not to happen that.
All right, something to workshop, but you should be feeling good after this victory. So congratulations to Cream once again. Now let's send it up to the casters to break down that matchup.
Thanks, Rachel, and it's just such a testament to how good this team is. There's only one thing to look at right now, possibly one of the greatest outplay moments in CRL history.
We were waiting to see who would blink first, and right there, you see Soking go hard in the left lane. Lindsay seems unbothered by it. Everyone is wondering what is going to happen. What is going to happen? NATO comes into King Tower, and you see Soking with the desperation freeze, and NATO, he just got straight outplayed. Poker face by Lindsay.
Yeah, I mean, poker face indeed. You will never see me sit at a table with that man. He just held it down and played the high goal and baited it out, and that was a beautiful, beautiful play. Beautiful play for the entire squad. Flash played some of the best Clash Royale we've seen out of him, and that includes his fantastic season last year in Latin America.
Yeah, and you know, the 2v2 set it didn't go their way, but it was just a small bit of health that separated them in game number 1, and that kind of started the downward cascade. Flash brought him back.
Guys, we aren't done. Queso Complexity up next. So now we're getting into a pretty fascinating matchup, because if this was just about 9 months ago, this would have been a battle of 2 titans at their absolute peak in Complexity and Queso. Instead, 2 teams both trying to find their footing now. To be fair, after what Complexity did the other day, they are looking really, really good.
Yeah, and Vulcan, you can see the smile on his face, the swagger in his step. He is feeling himself, and Queso finally achieving their first victory, of course, coming out today with the squad that you know and love. Kuchiku, Benny Hu, Dark Angel, and Azelis. Will Kuchi and Benny stay out of the 2v2 together? I'm thinking so, Rich.
We'll be seeing what they do. Like, do you want to preserve one of them for 1v1? Look, you have a lot of very talented players. What will they do with the roster today? Across from them, Complexity. Again, a really stacked roster here as well, and they seem like they finally got their rhythm, felt comfortable last time around, and you see all smiles on their faces, and we're really happy because this is when these guys are feeling good, they are almost unbeatable.
Yeah, everyone except for Coach Kyle. He is all business, but the boys you know, Vulcan, Adrian, Piedra, Colton, Air Surfer, and Razzer are ready to go. 2v2 coming your way. And Team Queso kind of taking a page out of their book last year by switching up their 2v2 duos. Now, last year was to keep their opponents guessing. This year, I think it's to try to find the perfect lineup to have in 2v2 and in 1v1.
Look, but last time out in 2v2, they did have success putting together Azelis and Benny Hu to take that 2v2 win. So, you know, this is where Queso's at their best, when they're moving things around, being unpredictable. I think they might have been just a little too predictable early in the season. And you have, again, let's remind everyone, one of the best organizations in mobile esports in Team Queso.
Yes.
Termisva, Furrier, and of course Alvaro have built a Clash Royale juggernaut that literally every greatest player has been on their team at one point or another. I have full confidence they will be at massive strength as we get closer to the midway point of the season.
And another thing that was very unpredictable about this season is the fact that Complexity has yet to take a 2v2 set. When they were known as the best 2v2 players for most of the season last year, they have really struggled to find their footing, to find their rhythm, and today may be the day against their old pals, Team Queso.
Colton and Razor really put the importance of 2v2 on the map, so hoping to see them back at their best performance today.
So we got double Lava Hound from Complexity here.
And both down at the exact same time, so Complexity going all in the right-hand lane. And that's just a lot of splash. So they're probably running into some graveyards, what we're expecting.
Yeah.
And that's just gonna be rough for Lava Hound.
I was just gonna say, you know the Nado's gonna come down to clean up all those pups. So much splash damage. Dark Prince comes down to distract the pups. However, look at how much damage they incurred on that tower.
Yeah, just, I guess, 2 Lava Hounds. It's hard to pick up every single one of those lava pups at the same time. So the play does work out for Complexity despite running into a splash damage festival.
Yeah, maybe the better idea there was to drop the Dark Prince when the first Lava Hound popped, and then Nado when the second Lava Hound popped.
Complexity doubling down again on the right-hand side.
And really assuming to see Graveyard here from Team Queso, but they have not played their win condition. There it is. And the freeze.
Oh, but King Tower activation, not what Team Queso wanted to see in that moment. And you see Dark Angel shaking his head a bit.
Yeah, very, very unfortunate for Team Queso. Only 288 HP on that bottom right tower, and this should be a pretty easy victory for Complexity.
Look, it is a graveyard deck. Maybe something crazy could happen right here. Freeze could come in and change everything, but does not look like it. 10 seconds left. Team Queso going to regroup and hope for better success in game number 2. Colton and Razor making it look easy this time. So good start for Complexity on the day, and you got to think that if they can get their 2v2 in the kind of form it was last year, trying to go through that squad in King of the Hill in 1v1 is going to be insanely difficult.
Yeah, I mean, because even if Razor and Colton are 2v2 specialists, we did give Razor a nickname because of his performances in King of the Hill. He's the Giant Slayer, man.
Canario's the Giant Slayer. King Killer.
King Killer, excuse me.
I know, I just came up with so many nicknames, it was hard to keep track of them.
Yep.
So here we go. Now it's Lava versus Lava. Kuchiku and Dark Angel taking a page out of their opponent's book. Lightning's exchange, a little grin there from Razor. So it's Lavas all over in game number 2.
And another lava drop by Team Queso. And clearly some communication going on. They've got a plan.
Yeah, you see Kuchi and Dark Angel really talking up a storm over there.
Colton and Razor just laser focused. There we go.
Lumberjack not getting picked up.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, there he goes, baiting it in for the tornado.
Very, very nice King Tower activation there. Going to help clean up those lava pups.
You know, who fell for that harder? Team Queso or us?
I'm not sure. Or dare I say, So King?
Wow, yeah, that was quite the play. Still just totally in shock.
Yeah. Lightning coming down. That Inferno Tower is basically non-existent. And that is going to be a lot of damage in on that tower. It could be tower down, not quite.
But now Complexity loading up on the right-hand side. Defensive Miner comes in. The Lumberjack making its way to the tower. And the Miner on tower not picked up by the Tornado. So maybe some tankage here by the Miner if those pups can't escape.
And that Mini P.E.K.K.A does come in and create a little window for a moment. Guards down again. Desperation defensive plays. However, it does seem to be paying off for Team Queso. Oh, that lightning.
Baby Dragon taking tower all the way down. And now Complexity coming from behind in a spot where they can just play some defense, try to see if they can survive this out. Nope, decide instead, we'll give up the tower. We know you have spells. We're going to load up while you have to spend Elixir.
And that is 100% the best decision to make. Ignore the miner, ignore the poison, mount this massive push, and Complexity making it look easy again.
Beautiful Dark Prince in the pocket to pick up the Inferno Tower aggro. Wow, wow, very, very nice. They saw that coming a mile away.
Yep, and they get the first Lava Hound out of the way and all the pups. However, the miner is in second pup, or Lava Hound's about to pop.
Lumberjack!
452 HP on the tower. That is within spell cycle range. All they need is a lightning and a poison, and it is good game.
Tornado, 2 King Tower cannons.
There's the poison, there's the lightning, and that is gonna do it. Kuchiku and Dark Angel could not keep up with the wall that is Colton and Razor.
Jinx, you owe me a soda, Andrew. We both saw it coming, both enjoyed it, and you gotta see Colton and Razor feeling good, finally playing like the pair that they know they are.
And that was the thing. It didn't really even seem to matter about the deck they were running. It was all about the communication and the support of one another. Now, obviously, the deck does matter, but these guys were playing on the exact same wavelength.
It's so critical. I mean, we're gonna harp on this all the way around, and you can see the Team Queso bench a little upset about the way that went down. Of course, it felt like they had that in their hands. Again, I'm gonna say this one more time. I believe that Team Queso has the ability to correct this, to right this ship and get on track. It's a great organization. Just need to get some of the pieces moving together in the right ways.
And now King of the Hill is gonna be coming your way. What does Queso have for Complexity?
So coming up next, Team Queso putting up 3 players against Complexity, who will also put up 3 players. Have you seen King of the Hill before? It's quite exciting.
I hear it's one of the most exciting sets out there. A best of 5 sets, first to 3. And coming up first is the King Killer, Razor, going up against Benny Who.
Well, Razor looking to add some more crowns to his list, both in-game and metaphorically, talking about killing those kings.
Love it.
Benny Who followed by Dark Angel and Azelius if necessary. Razor leading off for Complexity, and Adrian Piedra followed by Vulcan in the bullpen.
And a great snowball value there from our good friend Benny Who. Hog almost gets to tower.
So Morta, so Hog.
Yep, very happy to see Razor playing some Mortar. Kind of surprised at the opening placement of it. Not something you see very common, playing in the middle, but you know, got to switch it up, keep it fresh.
So it's going to be Hog EQ versus Mortar Bait. Now, Andrew, as we've said many points in the show, you are a Mortar Bait player. Have you encountered Hog EQ when playing your deck?
You know, surprisingly, I haven't encountered it much. And I'm very interested to see how it fares. You know, obviously EQ is a lot of splash damage on all the squishy troops that are the Spear Goblins and the Goblin Gang, the Rascal Girls, and of course taking out that Mortar. So we'll have to see how Razor defends against this Hog once Benny Who figures out his cycle.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting moving parts to this. Of course, the Mortar picks up the Hog, but the EQ beats the Mortar. Then the Miner goes in for the Mortar Miner deck, and then tries to get picked up by, I guess, the Ice Golem. There's no Valk in this version of the deck, so.
And the fact that Razor is running the Spear Goblin set, you see the frustration on his face right there. You know, that snowball, when the Goblin Gang and the Spear Goblins were played that close together, he almost took out all of the Goblins other than obviously the stab ones.
Feels like Benny Who has more counters for what Razor's playing than Razor has in the opposite direction.
Minion Horde coming in. I do like this variant.
Giant Snowball.
Oh, wow.
Comes in a little bit late.
Yep.
Hog right into the back of that Ice Golem. EQ gets down, takes care of the Spear Goblins, and that is a ton of damage.
Yeah.
Razor knows it. He just got beat.
Yeah, you see the head shake from Razor. Now, he did have a very nice play taking advantage of the snowball not being in cycle, really applying pressure with that minion horde. That's one of the reasons I love the variant so much, is the minion horde can really, really punish when your opponent's spells are out of cycle. But with the Ice Golem, with the snowball, the bats, and the archers, I don't think it's going to happen again. And that EQ, I mean, that mortar is not where Razor wants it.
Yeah, that's tower down. That hog ran right past the mortar. Tough matchup for Razor. Tough play for Razor. And he's going to be the first one down in King of the Hill. Benny starting things off with a bang for Team Queso.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about matchup, and that's pretty rough. Almost as rough as it gets. That and Benny played it picture perfect for the most part.
There we go. Team Queso 1-0. 2 more wins sends us to 1v1. Here we go, game number 2. Benny taking 1 down. Across from him, though, a very tough out in Adrian Piedra.
Yeah, Adrian last season was 21-15 in games, and in King of the Hill specifically, he was 5-3. And just kind of touch on that last match again. I mean, that was just a tough matchup for Razor. I mean, no matter where he played that mortar, whether it was at the river, in the middle, that EQ was just all over the map.
And Pekka in the back for Adrian Piedra. Feeling okay with that play once he sees the 5 elixirs spent on the Rascals.
A lot of DPS troops coming down here to help out this Pekka. I was going to say, Mortar's got to be coming down defensively relatively soon. And we're going to need a log. Okay, a fireball coming. I was going to say, he's got to get something to bounce that over, and I figured he'd have bar barrels, so that is the only way to play it.
Musketeer not quite going to get a shot on tower. 1 minute down, and Adrian Piedra ahead on Elixir with just a little bit of tower damage.
And this is going to be really, really interesting to see how he defends Benny and how he's going to turn anything into offense. It seems like the miner's going to be his best bet, because anytime he plays the mortar, he'll probably get Peka'd by Adrian Piedra, or he'll have to save the mortar for defensive plays against that battle ramp.
7 more on the board for the Complexity player. So still a slight advantage on Elixir for Adrian Piedra.
Oh, and that snowball is going to be devastating with those minions behind. Benny definitely getting away with that.
You gotta wonder with this slight advantage, how long can Adrian maintain it, and when will he turn it into some tower damage?
And there we go. Adrian recognizes right there. Oh, wow. Benny just caught back up.
Yeah, caught back up completely.
A little frustrated with himself, but he's like, all right, it's okay, it's okay.
I mean, look, all we have is that someone breathed a little too hard on the left top-hand tower, so not really much of any damage so far. No one's kind of almost starting from 0 here.
And the defensive mortar comes down. Pekka in the right-hand lane. Now Adrian, knowing he doesn't have to save the Pekka to apply pressure. Benny's going to meet that minion horde, or his minion horde's going to meet that poison and not get any of the damage that he wanted.
So now Adrian getting in both lanes. Fireball to the left-hand side.
Rascals in to meet that Pekka. Again, kind of a stalemate here for both teams. Pekka should come down again. There it is.
Pekka gets its pickup. But moving into the mortar. Mortar's going to turn to the right-hand side. Probably take out, there we go, taking some shots over at the Bandit. Now at the Musketeer.
And we might be seeing another, fireball coming down to stop that battle ram. That girl Rascal needed to stay alive.
Oh, and the barbs just barely retarget off tower. We are in sudden death overtime, and Benny has not taken a lick of damage.
Yeah, playing this very, very well, and he is in the luxury of this being a King of the Hill game, which is lowest single tower.
Absolutely, yes it is.
And creating a little bit of dual lane pressure here is Benny. Nice play there with the bar barrel. And you got to think a punish might come in the left-hand lane. Oh, but he sends the miner right as the Pekka's dropped.
Benny, though, still ahead pretty significantly, gets into that tower. The P.E.K.K.A has to go all the way around. So at the moment, with 2 minutes left, Benny in the driver's seat.
We're going to take care of that Musketeer, getting the Miner in the back, protecting that girl Rascal. She does demand a response.
Rascal does not get, or sorry, the Bandit does not get on tower, so still, now finally some tower damage for Adrian Pietro with that poison.
And this is a moment where a lot of damage should come in if those, gobs come in to protect the Bandit. However, Bandit and the Barbs do get on tower, and now Adrian takes the lead.
Wow, suddenly Adrian Pietro has turned the tables. Benny now selling out in the left-hand lane. I wonder if that was a desperation trying to get it back.
Yeah, I mean, he saw that the poison was out of cycle. However, those minions coupled with that snowball stopped everything in its tracks.
And now here you go, Adrian turning up the heat, feeling the motion.
Adrian didn't like something about that last exchange. Maybe he thought he committed a little too hard in the left-hand lane. Fireball does come in. That should take care of the Musketeer. Those Rascal girls are on the tower. That is a huge play.
Oh, wow. Down to 339. Adrian Pietro knows he got caught again.
And the poison, no poison coming down. Adrian doesn't want to overcommit once again. He does have 27 seconds to get a lot of damage in on that bottom right-hand tower.
Adrian Pietro has to play the
best. Oh my gosh, the bats are even on the tower.
But not in fireball range yet, so Adrian Pietro does have a window. He just needs to sell all the way out and hope that he can get on. He does pick up the Miner.
That's a big, big pickup. 5 seconds left, and this one is gonna go Benny way.
Wow, Benny playing some high-level games, takes a big breath. Man, you've earned it. Fill those lungs. One more win sends your squad to our third and final set.
You've got to admire the patience that Benny displayed in that last game. And you saw, as you said, that huge sigh of relief at the end there when he finally edged out Adrian Pietro. Now, he just never overcommitted. And when he did get punished for it. And it looked like he may lose the game. But Adrian was not able to capitalize on that. So now Vulcan, a man who just came off of a huge sweep over Energy, Hazard, Thunderstruck, Carter, all falling to this one man. Will he be able to do it again?
Well, Complexity certainly hoping so. They do not want this to go to a 1v1 situation. And yeah, I was about to say, we're not going to see it. You see the first three cards, you're like, are we going to see it? Are we going to see it? We're not going to see it, guys. We're not going to see it. And it looks like it's going to be Hog EQ for Benny.
Yeah. And you saw how well that fared against Razor in the first game of King of the Hill.
Vulcan looking like it might be Balloon.
Yeah, that's what we're seeing so far.
Yeah, Miner Balloon.
Nice use of the Batstar to clean up, knowing that the snowball's out of cycle, following it with some Hog Rider.
Following with some what? Some Hog Rider. Hog Rider! So here we go, first minute down, and still fairly even.
And one big swing from that Valkyrie. Twirl, swing.
I love seeing some of the handwork of these players. You see Benny going probably with how a lot of you hold your phones when you're playing at home. But you see Vulcan going with like the holding with the left hand and manipulating more with the right.
Yeah, it is very fascinating. You always seem to catch those very interesting interactions between the players and their phones, and it is very, very interesting.
Miner on the back of the tower, lots of damage here left-hand lane, so Vulcan just took a huge chunk out of his opponent. Now here we get a Hog EQ push. Giant Snowball tries to push the Hog off. Skeletons will help, but the Hog's gonna get probably one.
Oh.
Not a single swing. Oh, you see Vulcan there kind of like, yeah, I did it.
And you saw Benny thinking, oh, I hope it gets to the tower, and Vulcan knew exactly what was going on.
So I think, just to go back to the handwork, I think that Vulcan is selecting the card with his left thumb and placing with his right pointer finger. And part of that is the speed you can get those moves off with. And part of it also is that the pointer finger with a smaller pad is a more precise touch than your thumb.
Yeah, you definitely do not want a fat finger here at CRL West. Misplacing a card even one tile. I mean, we saw that furnace that was placed one tile too low and it cost someone a game, and that is not what we want.
Yeah, it'd actually be a lot of high-level players do place with their pointer finger. Some like really large devices. If you've seen the device that Hazard carries, that Hazard plays on, he plays on an iPad that's about the size of an oil painting.
And one thing we saw a lot in 2v2 was the dragon dropping so that your teammate can see exactly what you're going for. Hog Rider EQ push coming in once again, stopped by that Inferno Tower.
So Vulcan still slightly ahead as we go into sudden death overtime.
And that balloon just barely pulled by the Inferno Tower. However, it is still very, very healthy.
He'll get taken down by these archers. Not going to get to the tower, but still down to 15-10. The X factor so far, it seems, for Vulcan is the miner.
And now you see that Inferno Tower distracted by the Valkyrie. Still no hog hit coming in.
Benny, who trying to create some dual lane pressure to keep Vulcan guessing, but with the way that that Inferno Tower is going to work, it just, you don't think that the Hog's going to get past it.
And I really like that Benny, who's varying where he's playing the Inferno Tower, even if it's just one tile high or one tile to the left, whatever it may be, it's just always good to keep your opponent guessing.
That gonna be death damage, I believe, and yes, we do, down 1174, so Benny, who slipping just a little bit here, Vulcan playing this deck very well.
And Vulcan is just relentless with these balloon pushes. The Inferno Tower is back up again. Barb Barrel just a second late.
Look at the way Vulcan played the miner directly to catch the archer, get the archer killed, so you don't have to worry about it, and then get that chip damage. Very, very nice work by Complexity.
Hog coming in still with that last second snowball. The timing of Vulcan right now is just picture perfect.
They're both playing Inferno Towers, right? So when you're looking at a situation where they're both playing Inferno Towers, you think the EQ might help, but with the giant snowball, it's gonna keep that Hog off the tower fairly consistently. And of course, the Inferno Tower and snowball should keep the balloon off. And the difference is, though, is that Vulcan has the direct damage attack with the miner.
Exactly, and the death damage of the balloon getting close, because when the Hog gets close and doesn't get a hit, nothing happens.
Yeah, he's just dead.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just a gone Hog.
And the miner gonna go to the back of the tower most likely. Oh, he decides to go right on top of the archers.
Yeah, and that seems to be the tack that Vulcan's taking right now.
And a big headbutt from that Ice Golem and 2 swings from the miner because that tower was slowed.
Musketeer, notice he's putting the Musketeer to that left-hand side, so it will continue pressuring on that tower that's in so much trouble.
Yep. Very, very high-level plays all the way across the board. Vulcan never getting too excited, didn't waste his snowball.
And look at that, yeah, I'm telling you, that's what he's gonna keep doing that, keep doing that, keep doing that.
He's just picking apart where the archers are. And he saw that last time they went to the left in that one spot, as you call it. This time he was thinking they'll probably go back to the 3.
You know, I just saw Juicy J from last team's Liquid playing the same matchup, and he was doing the exact, oh no, he was playing against 2.9, and he was doing the exact same thing, using the miner to pick up the archers and make a little bit more room for the balloon, kill the archers, and get either miner and or balloon on tower.
Yeah, and you see right there, Benny, who just doesn't have any answers, no way to break through. That Hog EQ deck was just stopped in its track by Vulcan and that Inferno Snowball combo. Dark Angel coming out next for Team Queso, coming off of a team win from King of the Hill over Dignitas, where he took out Frost in game number 4. So he's feeling good about his presence, and you can see he's just got a laughing goblin over and over. I wonder when Vulcan mutes him.
And here we go, the goblin. One of the most dangerous emotes in the entire deck.
This is very true.
Taking it nice and slow to open up, and Vulcan looking like he's playing. So it's almost like certain decks become memes. People are like, oh, Mortar Miner Bait? We're playing that now, and suddenly you see it all over in this match.
I mean, I might be a little biased, but it's very, very powerful, Rich.
Yeah, I know.
Great Spear Goblins there to help assist with the Mega Knight, the minions, and distract the Inferno Dragon. And that one Spear Goblin doing a lot of work for Vulcan.
So Dark Angel looking like playing a Mega Knight spam, potentially here.
Vulcan playing the new Prince mortar bait. Newer.
Oh, Ram Rider.
Yep.
Ding.
Mega Knight Ram Rider comes in. Mortar comes down after the fireball, and that will get a shot on the tower.
That's gonna get a second shot on the tower.
Yeah, that is a great, great play there.
Andrew, let me tell you something. That might get a third shot on the tower.
You know what, Rich? I'll take that bet.
Will it go? Does not go 4, but those 3 shots are very, very important.
Yes.
1 minute left, and Vulcan in a great spot.
And look at that, he goes to catch the bandit. That is a beautiful play right there. The Prince is in on the tower. Minions come down, minion horde to take out that Mega Knight. And Dark Angel is gotta be very upset about how that just went.
Not just a catch, but a beautiful prediction. That miner left the King Tower of Vulcan sometime before that bandit was born.
And now check out that right-hand tower getting a lot of damage from the minion horde and the spear goblins, and now Vulcan has the luxury of applying pressure wherever Dark Angel isn't.
And there you go, 1 spear goblin also gets on tower. Vulcan just really making it look easy at this moment.
And you look at the frustration on Dark Angel's face. I don't think he knows what hit him.
Giant snowball comes in, the Ram Rider behind the Mega Knight. Fireball to back it up.
He does miss the Ram Rider, but he's got the mortar down. Mortar in the position to distract and apply pressure.
And Vulcan can just make sure he plays clean on that right-hand side. There you go, picks up the bandit. Vulcan doing it again, 2 down and King of the Hill.
Beautiful plays from Vulcan. Miner on the tower, snowball down to distract, and now all he needs to do is get to the fireball. He looks to his bench, he's like, yeah, I got this, no worries.
You know, I tell you right now, that man looked, Vulcan, he looks terrified. That's his terrified face.
Game number 5, King of the Hill, Azelis, Vulcan coming at you.
Game 5. Azelis, a man who's been considered for a very long time one of the top 3, top 4, top 5 players on the entire planet. Vulcan, who may have supplanted him on that list over the course of last season. Azelis wants to prove he still belongs on that list of the very elite.
Azelis playing a Hog immediately, and you wonder if we're going to see Hog EQ since it has been so favored by Team Queso.
Certainly looking like it.
Yes, sir. Sure is.
Going with the Valk version.
Vulcan switching it up again. Played so many different decks. Miner Balloon, Mortar Bait. Now playing, looks like P.E.K.K.A Bridge Spam. And that was one of the things that we learned about him last season, that he'd play almost any deck well, always keeping his opponents guessing. And not only could he play them well, he would win with them.
Well, the thing about Vulcan is he's not necessarily a guy who it's about knowing this particular deck really well. It's that he's a guy whose mechanics are unbelievably clean.
And look at that. Speaking of clean mechanics, you've got Azelis who's really thirsting for Elixir already, which is the last thing you want when you're playing against a bridge spam deck.
Oh, also, Vulcan knows every matchup really well.
This is very true.
The guy's brain is like an encyclopedia. So, slowing down here after the first exchange. Blood drawn on both sides. Vulcan happy to give away that Elixir lead.
Yeah, kind of surprised about that. Probably going to drop. Okay, he goes E-Wiz right on top of the Hog. And that Hog will get a hit.
A little surprising there, but
yeah,
you know, maybe Vulcan just didn't like his cycle compared to what was going on with the Hog.
That's a very good point. And now he has the comfortability of dropping the P.E.K.K.A in the back, knowing he cannot be punished by the Hog Rider, which is the only win condition in Azelis' hand. He was out of cycle, so probably gonna play minions, maybe high, looking for a zap. There they are.
Giant Snowball comes in. He does have the zap. I believe it's in cycle, so we should potentially see it. Oh. There we go. Maybe a little bit later than he hoped.
Yeah, I would definitely think so. Yeah. Yeah, not quite the way I think he wanted to unfold.
Yeah, just let that Inferno Tower get into that deep, hot damage, and unfortunately, just a half step late there for Vulcan.
Yeah, no hit in from the Hog Rider.
Now Azelis has an idea of what Vulcan wants to do, so you might see him here, now that we're in double Elixir time, start to put a little pressure on, and there you go. He sees the P.E.K.K.A, boom, opposite lane.
Exactly, and that is exactly what you want to do when you're playing Hog Rider. You do not want to go running into those Mama P.E.K.K.As. Great bar barrel there. You see, recognizing that he needed to get on top of the bandit, not the bar or the battle ram. And the Ewiz is down. Zap should be in cycle. There it is. Pekka on the tower. And a very nice pull with those archers.
A little lucky there for Vulcan. That could have, like a half step later, that Dark Prince could have gone to King Tower. Or even a snowball behind could have shoved it right in.
Yep, Pekka meets the Hog Rider. Bandit dashes on top of it. And the Bandit sneaks in front of the Hog. Not what Vulcan wants, but not the end of the world. Or in front of the Pekka.
And Ram Rider almost gets a connection. Archer's forced to be dropped to pick up the Barbarians. Another battle ram down.
Snowball coming in just in time, but one of those barbs is on the tower. Ooh. And the Bandit dashes on the right side.
And we've talked about that before, Andrew, the difficulty of that pickup play with the bar barrel for the Bandit dash.
Yeah, and now Azelis is getting really spread thin by Vulcan. Both lanes very unhealthy, and once again, we are in a lowest tower tower situation, so Azelis needs to take one of those towers.
And those two big hits were huge for the Frenchman, so we'll see if he can get the pressure up on that side.
Very healthy Pekka. Those minions are going to distract the Inferno Tower, and he should have Zap in hand. This is a very bad position to be in. Minion on the tower being tanked for by the Pekka. That's going to be good game. Pekka on the tower.
Wow! Just not able to pull the Pekka off the tower, and there you see the big celebration from Vulcan. He comes and does it again. Not just another King of the Hill sweep, but this time a reverse sweep where he was a loss meant there going on to the next set. So 6 in a row in King of the Hill for Vulcan. Unbelievable.
We've got Benny-Hu, Dark Angel, Azelis, Thunderstruck, Carter, Hazard mounted on Vulcan's wall, showing that he may be just the best out there.
Man, the kid is so darn good. I don't know what they're doing in Peoria, Illinois, but I know one thing they're doing. It creates great Clash Royale players.
I could not agree with you more. And you see he's right up front shaking hands. First one there, he's like, you know, very well played. It was a nice try.
Wow, wow, just so impressive. And we've told this story almost ad nauseum at this point, but a guy who was kind of overlooked coming into last season. You know, people again said, hey, yeah, you won King's Cup 2, but did you really win King's Cup 2?
Right.
And he came out and just started wrecking shop on CRL North America last season, and this time comes out and he arguably looks better than he did last year.
I mean, they've still got Adrian Piedra and Air Surfer there too. So let's say Vulcan's having a bad day. They've still got 2 head-to-head killers hanging out on their bench.
Wow. I mean, and again, it's not just about the guy. He's not a guy who knows a single deck and plays a single deck well, or knows has a certain style. He's a guy who's styleless and can adapt that to anything because, again, his management of skills are so fantastic. Let's go down to the stage where Rachel's standing by with our winners.
Thank you, guys. I'm down here with Vulcan. Vulcan, we saw some excellent play out of you on King of the Hill. You swept it for your team there and clinched that victory. Now, I want to go back to your game against Dark Angel because we saw some really cool plays from you there. First of all, the prediction with the Bandit. Really nice job. What were you predicting there, and how did you pull that off?
I mean, yeah, I was predicting the Bandit. Basically, whenever there's a Bandit and you have a Prince going down, if you have Miner in your deck, you should almost always prediction Miner right there because unless they predict that you're going to prediction Miner there, it works. So it works like 80% of the time. It's just a really good trick that I pretty much always do.
Man, the meta game, the mind tricks are insane, and you were definitely getting in your opponent's head, I thought, with the aggressive mortar placement there, chipping away at the towers. Talk to me about when you choose to go aggro with mortar and when you're going to defend with it.
You pretty much just mortar when you're at 10 Elixir, unless it's like versus certain matchups like Hog, where you really need that mortar on defense. And then also another important thing you can do versus like a lot of decks like Balloon is you can, when they attack in the same lane as you, you can mortar high so that it'll shoot the tower and then it also defends their troop at the same time.
Definitely a versatile card there. And speaking of versatility, we saw you before in an earlier week playing in the 2v2. Now we see you in the King of the Hill. Talk to me a little bit about the 2v2 decision making, who you guys want to front and when they include you in that.
I mean, we all practiced 2v2 together as a team. We were testing out some different lineups at the start, mainly not because we were worried or we weren't confident in Colton and Razor in 2v2. The main reason that we were switching it was just because we wanted to change up our King of the Hill lineup, but we lost the game, so we're going back to Colton and Razor for now. Maybe we'll switch it later. You'll have to just wait and see.
Well, this was definitely a recipe for victory today. Congratulations on the win. Let's send it back to the casters to take a look at those matches.
Thanks a lot, Rachel. That was just an unbelievable
Hold on,
performance.
Rich. I'm still taking notes from that interview.
What, you mean from all the gems that Isaac's just dropping out? Vulcan's like, I don't know, man. Yeah, I have these gems. They look like pennies to me. Why don't you go ahead and take that knowledge?
Everyone's waiting on gem drops. You just got a ton of knowledge from him. 80% of the time they're going to do that. Let's watch that replay and see exactly what he was talking about.
This is beautiful, man. I mean, Vulcan basically goes back in time to send this miner, and he says, yeah, this is the play you do when they have Bandit. Well, look, not everyone does it. Everyone better darn start doing it now, because look at the way it works out, breaking that tower off.
And you see that when Dark Angel drops those minions, he goes down to 0. Nothing to help the Mega Knight in the right-hand lane. And Vulcan just playing out of his mind, and it's so calculated.
So casual. So perfect. And there you go. Complexity taking a big win off of now 6 consecutive King of the Hill victories for Vulcan. And we aren't done yet, and we have saved a barn burner to close things out. It's Team Liquid facing off against the hot, the fiery Immortals. Here we go, last match of the day, and wow, Liquid, Immortals, great players on both sides, great 2v2 duos on both sides. A King of the Hill battle that is sure to be a back and forth slugfest. I cannot wait for this one.
I am on the same boat, Rich, and I'm really wondering if today is the day that Royal, the Golem God, #1 in the world in a lot of people's eyes, makes his CRL West debut.
Well, with the way the rest of his squad has been playing, who needs Royal? Of course, just keep him around. He's pretty darn good at this game. On the other side, Diego B, Buffmac, Surgical Goblin, Canario, all 4 of those guys playing exceptionally well. Now, they ran into some trouble against SK Gaming, who, of course, has a similarly stacked lineup. And here they are again against one of the best lineups in all of CRL.
I mean, we're talking the biggest names in the game walking down that tunnel together. I mean, these are all superstars. Every single one of them, even their coaches, Eric and trainer Luis, are famous in the community. And as you just said, we've got Surgical Goblin, Diego B, Buffmac, and Canario coming out for Team Liquid, looking to capitalize after you said that loss to SK.
On the other side, it's Immortals, and yeah, Canario, you got all of us. And then taking a look at the boys, Lapocati coming off a fantastic debut. Royal, who may or may not touch a phone today, and Crap and the God RF looking to kick things off in style one more time. This is going to be a slugfest.
I cannot wait to see what happens in King of the Hill. We're pretty sure who's going to come out in 2v2. They may switch things up, but here we go. Liquid Immortals.
2v2 about to kick off, and look at this. A total change up here in 2v2. It's Surgical Goblin and Canario on the tower for Team Liquid.
And you at home might be wondering, what? Why? But of course, Canario's record last year in 2v2 was 4-1 in sets, 8-3 in games. Surgical also had a positive games record at 7-6. So, you know, 2 of the best head-to-head players in the world out for the 1v1 set, trying to capitalize on the 2v2.
Really, really fascinating. Baby Dragon gets on tower here, left-hand side, so Immortals taking a little bit of damage here to open up.
Giant Skeleton making his way down the lane for Immortals. Graveyard comes in.
Very curious to see, and the nado to King Tower does not work. Oh my gosh, 3 Elixir down the drain.
And the freeze comes in last second, maybe a little bit aggressive. 1 Mega Minion hit does come in, so could be worth.
And it's Immortals still ahead on Elixir at this moment too. That 3 Elixir spent with the tornado was just not not what you wanted to see out of Team Liquid.
And very, very interested to see what kind of plays Immortals are going to come out with, because that is something that they are known for in the 2v2 set, where they're not just playing 2v2 together, they are setting each other up for victory.
This Graveyard getting a few good shots. No NATO this time around.
Excellent poison value, though, for the God RF and Crap.
And a few Baby Dragon Belters in the left-hand lane. So right now, Immortals in a pretty comfortable spot.
And the low and deep Inferno Tower catches the raged up Royal Giant. 2 Skeletons and an Ice Wizard with that Mega Minion. And no, sir, not one Royal Giant shot on that tower.
And you see RF and Crap, a little nod communication there. Cool, that worked out. That's what we wanted. Let's keep going. You see Surge and Canario working on the left-hand lane. The challenge that's interesting about these guys playing 2v2 is they don't share a common language in which they're fluent. Surgical Goblin obviously has very, very solid English. Canario, though, not quite at a fully fluent level, so you gotta wonder how that might affect their communication as they go through this set.
Yeah, and you saw right there, the Lumberjack came down behind the Royal Giant, which is usually not what you want. The Prince does get a charge on the tower, and these are small mental mistakes that a pair like the God RF and Crap do not make.
Well, again, they aren't just good at 2v2, they're comfortable in 2v2. They're confident in 2v2, so they don't panic. They know how these different interactions work. It's a slightly different, it's a different board. It simply is. And they are playing it very well. 13 seconds left, and they are in the lead.
Royal Giant coming down again for Super Goblin and Canario. Met immediately by a Giant Skeleton.
Dueling Tornadoes, nice fireball, very aggressive from Surgical Goblin and Canario. Now, we were talking with Complexity a while back, saying that they believe that Fireball is more of a defensive card when it comes to 2v2 rather than an offensive card.
And now you know the Snowball is going to be coming, the freeze may be coming in, but the Snowball stops it. Very, very nicely timed Lumberjack and Snowball to make it so that Crap and the God RF did not want to freeze.
Dark Prince up a couple tiles from the tower, keeping that Baby Dragon off the Ice Wiz and the tower as well.
And now Team Liquid keeping Crap and the God RF in the lane that they don't want to be pressuring, because they are able to get a bigger response by going opposite lane here.
Graveyard down, freeze on the Inferno Tower, so an early freeze, and that's a lot of damage here, down to 509. One more skeleton, not gonna get in. Gets
big skeleton!
Oh, that's a last-second NATO, just saved that tower.
And some more spell value there for Team Liquid, getting that Musketeer down.
So again, very interesting the choices being made on the spell usage.
Oh, wow, and that's gonna do it right there. You saw the Prince coming in. They had to play the Lumberjack up high and the Ice Wizard low. The God RF and Crap doing what they do.
You know, as I was saying, as that game wrapped up, Andrew, interesting theory around the Fireball and Lightning in 2v2. Complexity was talking about this, where they believe that Lightning is an offensive spell because, again, it's that specific targeted damage. You get some tower damage, a lot of power, and clean up some troops. Whereas Fireball, because of the knockback, using it more on the defensive side of the board. And you saw Liquid going the exact opposite direction with that.
Yeah, and you wonder, I mean, Complexity are some of the best at 2v2 out there, and I completely agree. Lightning is much more aggressive, Fireball more passive, obviously still getting damage in on the tower, but when you can lump all those units together, NATO, Fireball, amazing combo.
So, as expected, there are 4 Baby Dragons on the board.
Yep, and that Lumberjack will get NATO to King Tower.
Miner does not get onto tower, so despite all the effort put into it, Miner not going to do its chip work.
And you saw that very, very nice NATO to King Tower, activating King Tower, and also a bit of a juke. You saw that Crap threw that log down, thinking they might play something to pick up the Lumberjack.
Very, very high Inferno Tower, and a little surprised, no response to it.
Yeah. This is a moment for Lightning if they have it. There it goes.
There you go. Lightning gets some tower damage, some troop damage. Let's get aggressive.
Mega Minion on top of the Baby Dragon. A lot of units right there on Immortals Tower. Miner in the back, pumps on the tower.
Ooh, Immortals in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. They're gonna survive this push, but not by a whole lot.
So they got 3 Elixir in hand right now.
And looking like, oh yeah, they're playing the RG, so certainly able to get back in this one, but have to get past an Inferno Tower and a Tornado and a Lumberjack and Lightning to take out your support troops. Final minute of regulation play. We are in double Elixir time. Baby Dragons go split lane.
Yeah, split lane Baby Dragons. You got the Lava Hound popping down in front of the one at the right. Baby Dragon on Baby Dragon, whereas Immortals Baby Dragon is on the pups.
There we go. More great lightning value, and a couple pups do sneak through. That's going to be tower down right-hand lane. Immortals in trouble in game 2.
Yeah, Immortals right now, only 30 seconds left. This does seem near impossible to come and take this from Liquid.
Yeah, it really feels like they would need at least, I mean, now that the Inferno Tower picked up,
Yeah.
they feel like they would need one more push, and you can see Akrap and RF know they just got beaten down that time around.
Yeah, they just did not have the defensive prowess this game, something that they're usually very, very strong with, just not falling their way.
Well played, well played. Let's go to game number 3. You know, I'll be honest, Andrew, after seeing the way game number 1 went, I did not believe for a second we'd find ourselves at a game 3, but Canario and Surge played so well in game number 2.
You are speaking words right out of my mouth. I mean, Surgical and Canario are 2 of the best in the world, but again, it's about the synergy and the teamwork and the chemistry and the communication. As you said, there's a slight language barrier there. Did not matter at all in game number 2. A dominant display from Team Liquid.
The last time Surge and Canario played Clash Royale on the same stage at the same time was at DreamHack the other weekend, where Canario ended up taking that in the best of 5.
Over Surge.
Over Surge.
And you know what? At that point, you can't even be mad. You're like, oh, well, that guy's on my team.
Oh, look at that. The giant snowball moved the miner out of the safe spot.
Wow.
And the tornado activated King Tower. That was some very, very nice teamwork from Surge and Canario.
Yeah, I love that play.
And playing this double miner deck, having both King Tower cannons up is going to be very frustrating now.
Yeah, and you wonder if this is going to be similar to the miner deck we saw before from Immortals, where they'll be cycling rockets on top of the miner drop. Ooh, look at that pickup with the Ice Spirit.
Still takes 2 shots, but a nice pickup. And, oh, the defensive NATO moves the RG out of the range of the Inferno Dragon.
Yeah.
That's
Ice
an
Spirit
unfortunate reset.
Yeah, and the Ice Spirit actually didn't get on either. And that is a bit of damage coming in for Team Liquid. A small misplay by Immortals.
Gotta say, I am impressed right now by Team Liquid. This is a call where you saw these 2 walking up and you were like, I just don't know if I buy it. But right now they are playing very well.
I'm just really, really curious to see if this does go to 1v1, who comes out for Liquid. I'm thinking it would probably be Buffmac.
Well, talking about DreamHack this weekend, and there you go, NATO, or the Rocket. The Rocket, though, missed Rocket. Not what you wanted. Wow, the miner just did not hold those troops behind the tower quite long enough.
And now a 6 Elixir advantage in the hands of Team Liquid. How will they capitalize?
Wow, very, very nice defense there from Immortals.
Yep, very clean, but still down below 1,000 HP.
As I was saying about the Buffmac question, Surgical beat Buffmac at DreamHack, but he said that really it was only because of the format, because it forced Buffmac to play the same deck 3 times in a row.
Oh, interesting. And now only 599 HP remains on the tower, so that is within spell cycle range.
And that's the play they wanted. This time the guards did not come down at the same time. Lumberjack not able to escape the rocket.
Fireball coming in Lightning gonna come in, and then maybe the log.
398 to 686. Miner to the back. Can Awcraft, the God RF, beat in the tower race? It's going to be a tall order, especially if that Miner goes down. RG could get a shot off. Fireball comes in.
The Fireball in just in time. Now, are they back to the Lightning? That is the question. There it is! Canario and Surgical Goblin take down the God RF and Awcraft.
I'm telling you right now, Andrew, if you sent me back in time and asked me to bet on that, being here, knowing what I know, I still don't know if I could bet on seeing AC and RF go down like that.
I'm shocked. I am awestruck at this moment. Again, there's a slight communication barrier there, but you would think they are speaking their own secret language with the way they just played.
This really changes everything for Immortals as well, because they are so used to winning 2v2. Part of their performance, part of what they do so well, is being in King of the Hill with the confidence of having games to lose. So they play totally loose, totally confident. How does this shift their mentality going into set number 2?
Well, you see the look on Trainer Luis's face. I'm not sure he planned that happening. He didn't see that ever coming, and now you've got the whole roster of Team Liquid available for King of the Hill.
You know, Andrew, we've talked so much about the ability of Immortals to pull off moves in 2v2. Well, turns out Team Liquid has moves of their own. If you didn't catch it, we harped on it, but we're going to go back to it one more time. Take a look at this replay. A beautiful bit of synergy from Canario and Surgical Goblin. And most importantly, look at what cards they have in opposite hands.
You see right there, the Snowball comes down from one, the NATO from the other for the King Tower activation. Now, that might seem small to some of you at home, but that is a massive play. That's a 6 Elixir play to activate King Tower, and going up against a Miner Cycle deck, that is the last thing that you want.
And you have to have 2 brains happening at one time.
Yes.
That's not you planning that by yourself. That's, hey, dude, hit that snowball. I'm gonna hit that tornado at the exact right moment. Bam, bam, that's teamwork.
So now we go to King of the Hill with Liquid taking the first set, taking that 2v2 set. Those graphics you just saw, those were correct. And now Buffmac coming out, going up against the God RF, who has played 10 games with only 1 loss.
Buffmac, the lead-off hitter here for Team Liquid. In the hole is Canario, and waiting behind him is Diego B. And of course, RF leading off here for Immortals clearly. Followed by La Picati coming off of his successful CRL West debut, and potentially, if we get there, the CRL West debut of Royal.
And for those of you wondering, that does mean that Surgical will be taking a seat for the remainder of this match, not eligible to play in that final set.
And take a look at that there. That's a pretty much insane hit to start this thing off. Buffmac with a tower connection by the Battle Ram.
Yeah, we get a couple shots in from that Royal Giant, but not even close to the damage that Buffmac just did.
First minute down, RF does have pressure in both lanes, whereas Buffmac's only on the right-hand side, but it's a pretty hefty right-hand side, and almost a second connection, but the Barbs do get on tower.
Wow, that is a huge, huge play.
And you just see RF had no Elixir. There's nothing he could do in that moment. Absolutely out. Reaching the midway point of regulation time, and Buffmac comfortable to sit back, relax, play clean, and he's got to be feeling pretty good right now. You see RF starting to tighten up a little bit, maybe get his posture going, focus.
Baby Dragon coming up high to meet that Musketeer, trying to preserve the health of the Furnace.
Big breath from Buffmac on the left side of your screen here.
Guards coming down, coupled with the Fire Spirits from the Furnace, going to make quick work of that Prince. And you see RF predicting the dashes of the Bandit. A very nice play by dropping the Bar Barrel there. Mega Minion, though, sneaks in front of the Royal Giant.
And not using the Lightning in that instance, deciding to hold off, to save it for a better spot, and oh no.
Man. That is not what you want. You wanted those Fire Spirits to at least pop. Does RF have enough in the tank?
Musketeer, just barely avoids getting that Musketeer on tower, so RF keeping things interesting for the moment. Less than 30 remain in our opening King of the Hill game.
And 1,000 HP separating these two.
Fireball value, that's some very important value at this stage.
And now only 383 on that top tower of RF. Very, very dangerous territory.
And he can't lightning. He just can't lightning. He's playing the Royal Giant really, really high, already low on Elixir, and can't get around to use it. And so that Golem's not getting the damage on King Tower.
Fireball in once again, a naked Fireball.
So now Buffmac is trying to cycle around to one more Fireball. He has to defend here. Lightning, again, no Elixir for the Lightning. RF is probably gonna have to wait and drop this thing, hope he can get through. It's not gonna do enough. Fireball's gonna come down. Buffmac taking game 1 of King of the Hill.
RF going to the bench, and now Lapakati on his way up. And now Lapakati comes out to face Buffmac on the tower, and this is a very interesting situation for Immortals, one that they're not used to being in.
Yeah, they're used to winning 2v2 and having a little more breathing room in King of the Hill. I mean, they barely ever lost 2v2 last season, had yet to lose 2v2 this season, so this is unfamiliar territory.
One thing I do love is the smile on Lapakati's face, and he plays the mortar, and you hear all the other players that stuck around after their matches today going nuts, and there it is.
Oh.
Expo, mortar, you asked for it, you got it.
I'm really excited to see this one. I'm excited to see Lapa. You see, that's why he was smiling before, and he was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna play my favorite deck here in CRL, and he's up against Expo. And wow, I'm excited. Look, I'm an Expo player, you're a mortar player. I'm not gonna say we're gonna pick sides here, but I'm picking sides here.
Yeah, I'm picking the mortar.
Okay.
And a perfect exchange there for Buffmac, picking up the miner, taking out all the support troops, not one damage of HP on that left-hand tower.
So I'm sure this is a match that each one of these guys has played, I don't know, about 7 million times.
Wow, and look at that.
Yeah, Lapo dabbing early.
Minions unchecked, however, not getting to the tower like Lapakati wanted. Buffmac shaking off a little bit of nerves.
Well, this is kind of a weird matchup because, you know, that mortar is not going to be anywhere near the tower, so the rocket value you want to get from Icepo, unless you're just taking care of support troops, it's kind of hard to figure out how to actually get it the way you want it.
Yeah, and those defensive mortars can be very, very frustrating. Especially when you don't have a big spell to deal with them.
Yeah, and you have the rocket, but it's going to be six for 4.
Right, and then on the other side of it, Lapakati, big spell, probably doesn't have a fireball. And Buffmac throws his hand way up in the air, not happy about something, but he does need to continue playing. This is not a moment where you want to have a mental mistake. Prince comes down. This is a very strong and very aggressive iteration of the mortar deck.
Well, if you're going to play strong and aggressive with this deck, why not be the guy who plays it best in the world?
And as you said before, Rich, #1 and #3 on ladder not playing mortar.
And at the same time, it's just bananas. Not to mention the fact he got, I think he got #1 on mortar, what, twice earlier this year? No, #2 on ladder in January and February of this year as well.
Oh, #2, never mind, that doesn't matter.
Yeah, back-to-back #2s, and those were with mortar.
Insane. Fireball coming down, giving excellent value to Buffmac, and now that Expo's pretty healthy. Lapakati just cycling troops, knowing that he got a bit outplayed right there.
No, that was beautiful because he dropped that Goblin Gang right after the log. Look at the smile on his face.
Yep.
This is a guy who knows this matchup. If you're winning,
yeah.
If you're getting to #2 on ladder back-to-back, you know what you're playing against at least a few times? Icepo. And he just knew. He's like, you're gonna log this, I'm gonna drop this Goblin Gang here, my mortar will be there. Dude, you're not getting it.
Miner to the back on the tower, getting a few more hits in. Skeletons come down a little bit late. You know the snowball's gonna come in to clean them up.
And ooh, wow. Some bad hits as well. Ding, 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 ding.
Those are huge.
They might sound small, but they hit hard. And it's Fireball, not Rocket.
Yeah, we saw the Fireball come down earlier and getting value on the minion horde and the Prince. And right now, I love that Lapakati kind of dances when he's at the tower.
Oh, yeah. Well, especially playing your favorite deck in CRL against one of the best players in the world and playing it the way you know you can play it.
Oh, and that's a very healthy Prince coming in.
Last second, Ice Golem steals it away. Wow, wow, he's flexing right now.
Yeah, he is. And you can't help but love to watch.
And he's flexing early, right? Because he's just so confident that he has this thing won.
And here's the thing, again, King of the Hill, lowest tower situation. That Expo needs to lock or else that miner is going to keep him in the lead.
And I love how late Lapakati places some of these troops when he knows. He was at 8 when he placed that mortar, even though the Expo had come down a couple of ticks earlier, because he's just making sure he knows he's going to beat it, but doesn't want it to be losing a little bit of health too early at the front end of that cycle.
3 big hits from that miner.
Just look at that, the late way he places that mortar. Beautiful.
Yep, 1 minute left, and Lapakati is feeling it.
Spear Goblins, Prince to the inside.
Goblin Gang probably going to come down relatively soon.
Boofmac just trying to cycle Expos. Oh, wow. Bats and Spear Goblin.
Here it is again. He
Dab,
knows
dab,
he's
dab.
got his number. He looks over at him while playing the troops.
Dab, dab, dab. Now the big question, of course, is going to be, Boofmac did turn to the League operations at one point in the middle of the match.
That is the big question on everyone's mind. Great fireball value once again, but as you can see, Lapakati is unfazed. 10 seconds left, and he does have this game in hand. And you see Boofmac turning to the official, trying to plead his case, if you will.
Look, I'll tell you this much. Lapakati, with that attitude, belongs with this team.
I could not agree more. We're going to check in with League Ops and see if that is a match that goes to Immortals or if it is a replay.
All right, time to get into game number 3, meaning, of course, that League Ops took a very, very close look at that last issue and decided there was not enough evidence to warrant any sort of replay. So here we are, Lapakati feeling good, now up against Canario.
Yeah, never fun when that happens, Rich. Not the way you want a game to go. However, you got to just dust it off and get back to the drawing board.
Hog EQ against most likely Minor Loon or some sort of minor control. It doesn't have to be Minor Loon at this stage, but you see the Furnace, or you see the Inferno Tower, you kind of feel like it's going that way.
Yep.
And we've seen this match play out before, and it just feels like with both players having that, that Inferno Tower, that the advantage goes to Lapakati because he can get directly on tower.
Yep, that's you said it perfectly. Snowball coming in. Yeah, we've seen this matchup quite a few times. And so Lapo just needs to play calm, cool, collected, make sure he's in control and command of the cycle of the match.
Now, let me tell you something. If you're talking about one player who can play with a rough matchup and make it work, that's the guy wearing the sweatshirt on the left-hand side of your screen.
Yeah, and surprisingly, Canario hasn't had a great showing so far in the sense that he didn't play in match 1, and he lost in match 2 to Soking, who was on a run. But that's not a lot of data to collect, and you saw how well he did in that 2v2 set.
I'm shocked that Lapakati's not playing the giant snowball to prevent that hog hit. I think that that is a severe error in judgment. We saw how well that defense worked last time we saw this matchup. Saving it for offense when your opponent has a giant snowball, they're just going to cancel each other out.
Yeah, and you saw that right there. He held onto it. Instead of playing it on defense, he played it offensively, ended up not getting a lot out of it, and I agree. He's got to just kind of hang tight, play defense, get the tower down, and then send miners to the opponent's Princess Tower.
Yeah, this needs to be a minor chip game for Lapakati, not a not a balloon game. And there you go. Canario is simply playing better right now than Lapakati.
Yeah, and Lapakati's playing a little reckless.
So here we are in double Elixir time. Now Lapakati balloon in the back on the opposite side.
Very deep balloon.
And now he doesn't need the snowball this time on defense. So that's a nice play. The Miner picks up the Inferno Tower.
That Inferno Tower there is still going to be healthy enough to take out the Balloon. Nice plays there, picking up the Archers, getting the Miner in the way of the Inferno Tower, but still not enough. But this deck does cycle very quickly.
Canario's crazy good, and you see they're sending the Miner to the Archers.
And one thing you never want to do when playing against Canario is get over-aggressive, because he will always punish you for it, and he never, almost never overcommits.
Yeah, that's why he's so good at making comebacks after he comes down. So even if you get ahead on Canario, you're not guaranteed a win.
And there we go. So now this is what needs to happen, is that Lapo's got to play perfect defense throughout, but he's also got to get to the tower, because those EQs will add up. 5 Elixir not in the hand.
And late with the snowball, just barely avoids the damage. The Skeletons do come down and pick up the Musketeer, though. Canario playing pretty much perfectly so far.
Yeah, and that Musketeer did turn around and assist Lapocati in his defense, but you see only 900 HP on his tower.
Will the Miner come down to the Archer in the back? I think that'd be a bit of a waste at this stage.
Yep. And you see the Skeletons coming in to try to protect that Musketeer. Actually does a good job of keeping it alive.
Hog gets past the Ice Golem, so this exchange works out well for Lapocati. But unfortunately, his Ice Golem does not pick up the Archers, so his Musketeer eats a ton of damage.
Yeah, now all he needs really is one balloon drop to break even. Probably not going to happen, so he's got to get Miners to the tower. Hog Rider and 5 Elixir in the hand. Snowball in to slow down that Princess Tower, and another big Hog hit. That feels like the nail in the coffin. But again, Balloon is devastating, but Canario is not someone to overextend himself.
Yeah, just that Balloon's not going to get the tower. I don't imagine a universe where that happens right now.
And you see the vast emotional difference on Lapocati's face.
Yeah, just very, very well played by Canario, and, you know, just maybe a little over-aggressive and not quite understanding all aspects of the matchup from the young Belarusian. So his time on stage is over. You know, maybe Canario also was like, look, kid, I feel like you just took one from my buddy. I want to stomp you out right now and let you know who's boss.
That is absolutely correct. Royal making his CRL West debut.
And look, you got to feel bad for Lapocati taking the bath that time, but it does give us something that I've been wanting to see since last season. Canario versus Royal, in my opinion, the best head-to-head player in North America last year, the best head-to-head player in EU last year. In fact, when I went to do a top 10 power ranking on CWA last year on his YouTube channel, we got into a little bit of a debate. He said Canario, I said Royal. Well, put your chips down, buddy. This is where we finally settle it.
Yeah, and I'm sure Ash is watching right now at home, wondering if his pony is going to take it. And, you know, Royal is truly one of the greatest in the world. When you look at his record from last season, he was 23-9 in games, 11-2 in sets. However, Canario, 17-4 in games, 8-1 in sets. This is as good as it gets.
Yeah, just both these guys so unbelievably good. And Royal did all that last season while also getting a, I believe it was a top finish on ladder, #1 on ladder, while he was playing, going through playoffs for CRL North America. And yeah, I mean, look, in the end, in my opinion, last season, taking CRL North America and EU, these guys were just the #1 and #2, and it's kind of hard to decide which one is which.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And this match isn't really truly the deciding factor, but it's gonna be a big pride point.
Oh, I'm really excited for this. And it's a Hog EQ up against Ram Rider, and very interesting to see how this one plays out. Of course, Canario, just so stone cold, one of the most untiltable players on the planet. And Royal, really unpredictable, even when playing decks that seem like they should be played a certain way. he will pull off weird moves and moments that you don't expect because he capitalizes on things he knows you're about to do.
And you see right here, he does not overextend himself. He's got the Ram Rider, the E-Wiz, and the P.E.K.K.A, and the Snowball as counters to Canario's win condition. And on the other side of it, Canario, his Inferno Tower, he's got to be wary of that E-Wiz.
I can't imagine either one of these guys losing a tower, honestly. I really feel like this is going to go down to lowest single tower.
Yeah.
I just don't see anyone making a mistake.
We will see. We will see. And so far, it's been real clean on both sides of the board. 2 Ice Golems down in front of these Archers. And now with the commit on the, yeah, there you go, Ram Rider coming down, Skeleton there to defend another Snowball. So we've got a healthy P.E.K.K.A on one lane and a healthy Ram Rider in the other.
Ram Rider gets to the Inferno Tower, but that's going to be fine on defense. And now Canario getting back to another Hog.
Look at that cycle from Canario. Fast, furious, unrelenting, and it does get a big Hog hit in.
So Royal believing that he can cycle quickly enough to his defensive cards to stop these Hogs, but so in this exact moment, not working out quite to that tune.
E-Wiz comes down, Hog gets 1 hit, Hog gets 2 hits.
But also connection on the bottom left from the Ram Rider.
Yeah, big connection from that Ram Rider.
And there you go, the Lightning and E-Wiz is down as well.
So we've got a kited P.E.K.K.A moving across the map. How is Royal gonna capitalize on this instance?
And a second P.E.K.K.A down to pick up the Hog Rider, and perfect placement, perfect timing.
Canario never losing his cool.
You could throw Canario out of a plane without a parachute, and he would be completely cold and collected.
And he'd probably win a few games in ladder on the way down. A deep, deep Ram Rider. So you see, again, these juggernauts of the game changing up their strategy relentlessly.
And there you go. Hog gets stunned a little bit, and then the P.E.K.K.A barely picks it up one more time. 1 minute down in sudden death overtime, and things are extremely close.
And those lightnings coming down will add up. You gotta stop the Hog here. Snowball comes in to get the Skeletons. A great play by Canario. Another Snowball backs the Hog off. And it does get a big hit.
That was almost like a stop motion hit there from the Hog on the left-hand side. But look, only 2 HP separating these 2 Titans.
Oh my gosh, this is insane. Oh, and that could be the deciding factor. It's just the spell cycling and who comes out on top may just be decided because the Lightning does a little bit more damage than the Earthquake.
Ram Rider, is the E-Wiz going to be available to help out? So no, it's Bar Barrel Skeletons, but Giant Snowball comes in. That's going to be a couple of Hog hits here.
Wow, 3 hits.
E-Wiz comes down. There you go. That is a big, big opening, but still just less than 200 HP separating the right tower of Royal and the left tower of Canario. Lightning comes down. Snowball to stop the Hog. P.E.K.K.A distracted by the Skeletons. Things are so close here. We are in a race. Final 52 seconds.
Only about 154 HP separating these 2.
Hog goes past the Ice Golem.
Oh, wow.
And then E-Wiz gets in just in time. No, does not stop the Hog. Down to 209. Royal in a lot of trouble now.
That is going to do it. It feels like Canario has this tucked away.
Oh my gosh.
20 seconds left.
And there
Royal
comes the
knows
good
it.
game. Canario knows
Look at
it.
him.
That is it. Canario puts Royal away in style and seals this thing for Team Liquid.
Team Liquid taking down Immortals. They stumbled when they started, but now they are on top.
And you know, Andrew, I think it all comes down to that 2v2. I mean, clearly, one team wins one set. It gives you the cushion. But look, Immortals used to playing from a spot where they have 2v2 locked down, and they just seem to play a little bit tighter in King of the Hill than normal.
Yeah, that was an dominant display from Canario, taking out Lapakati, taking down Royal. Wow.
And don't forget taking down RF and Akrap as well.
Yeah, right, in the 2v2 set, which is not something that a lot of people can say they've done. And right now, Liquid looks on fire.
This is the Liquid that everyone wanted to see, the Liquid people tuned in for last season that just didn't quite have the chemistry to make it work. But look at the changes. First, Buffmac now deeper mixed into the squad, and we saw how well he played today. Adding in Canario, who, again, I've said, a lot of people say consensus best player in Europe last season. Definitely one of the top 2, if not #1 last season overall. And then, of course, the addition of their coach, Eric Benamou, to balance things out and help guide the squad and push them in the right direction. And this is a totally different Team Liquid.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to have a big personality to balance out and control these superstars. I mean, they all know the game so well, but you need a coach to check them, keep them in line, and look at that. Canario and Surgical in the 2v2, and Canario dominating in King of the Hill.
An unbelievable play from Liquid. Let's go down to Rachel as she talks with our victors.
Thanks, guys. I'm down here with Canario. Excellent matches in the 2v2 and then cleaning up in King of the Hill. Fun fact for the 2v2, you guys handed Immortals, Crap, and the God RF their first loss in 2v2. So how does that feel?
Pues la verdad es que nos sentimos muy bien. Surgi y yo la verdad es que hacemos una muy buena pareja. Mucha gente no confiaba, pero yo sí confío en él y la verdad es que muy contento y hacemos muy buena pareja en el 2x2.
He said that he feels really good because a lot of people really don't think that them two would be the strongest duo, and he really believes in his teammate Surgical and him to be one of the best 2v2 duos.
Oh, you guys definitely made a scary 2v2 duo, and you got to go up against some interesting decks. We were talking about the double graveyard that those guys brought. What did you think of when you saw that in the matchup?
Pues la verdad es que sabíamos que no iba a sacar ese deck. No nos preparamos mucho contra él, pensábamos que podíamos ganarlo. También nos esperamos un poco que no nos lo sacaran, porque lo habían sacado en el anterior partido y si no me equivoco también en el primero, y la verdad es que jugaron ese partido bastante bien.
Basically, he said that we knew it was coming, but since they used it last game, we didn't think it was going to come out again, so we didn't really over-prep for it. They won with it. It's a great deck. And yeah, but he's okay with it.
I love the preparation you guys put in, and part of that has to be with the entirety of Team Liquid supporting you. You're getting some extra information. So tell me, how do you work with the team, and what do they mean to you?
Pues la verdad es que estamos trabajando mucho. Entre nosotros nos entendemos muy bien, tanto cuando ganamos, cuando perdemos, intentamos mejorar lo máximo posible, incluso en el entrenamiento. Y también creo que somos uno de los mejores equipos en cuestión de entrenamiento. Surgi y yo prácticamente nos pasamos de por la mañana hasta por la noche entrenando, intentando mejorarnos cada día y eso se nota. La verdad es que estoy muy contento con todo el equipo y iremos a por todas.
So there was a lot there.
Yeah, I'll let you figure that out.
Much. He said he's really happy with the team. We work really hard, and like we're good together on and off the field. When we lose, when we win, everyone really understands each other. And with his team, like his dual partner, they wake up at 8 a.m. They spend all day together, and like he's super happy to be with Liquid, and he's ready to go for it all.
All right, can I ask you one last question? What do you think is the most important thing or the most useful thing that you've learned from your duos partner?
Lo que más has aprendido de Surgical y de tu dúo.
Pues la verdad es que todos son muy buenos. En general, Surgical para mucha gente es un ídolo. Para mí también lo es y lo fue desde que empecé en el competitivo. Y estoy muy orgulloso de jugar el 2 contra 2 con él, practicar en el mismo equipo y ya.
So he said that like for a lot of people, including him, Surgical was like an icon and an idol like when you grow throughout the game. So he's really happy to be able to have him as a teammate and as a duo, and he feels great together.
I'm sure you made him proud as well with your play today, and congratulations to the entirety of Team Liquid for bringing that spirit. Now let's send it on to the casters to wrap up the day.
Thanks a lot, Rachel, and it's great to see Canario playing at his best form here today in a very important spot, taking out Royal in what, I mean, again, those teams won't play again this season, but hopefully we see them again maybe in the postseason, because I can watch those two guys go head-to-head, I don't know, 100, 150 times, 250 times?
I could not agree more, and taking down Lapicati the way he did was just so incredibly impressive.
And it was a great day today. Let's take a look at our scores from all of our matches.
And you see right here, we started off with a sweep from Fnatic over Misfits Gaming. Next up was Pain taking 2-1 over Tribe. Cream separating themselves, getting towards the top of the pack, 2-1 over SK. Complexity sweeps Team Queso. And lastly, what you just saw, a dominant display from Team Liquid and Canario.
So we are starting to get pretty deep into the middle of our season. Now some of these teams have played 4 of their matches, which is not an insignificant number. So that's going to be a big effect on our standings. People move trying to go to Xi'an, China.
Yeah, and you look here, Pain Gaming and Cream Esports, the very first match of the season, now tied for first place. Immortals dropping down to third at 2-1. Team Liquid and Complexity also at 2-1, but moving up. Now in the middle of the pack, we've got Tribe and Fnatic tied at 2-2. SK and Energy 1-1 after SK was taken down today. And at the very bottom of the charts, we've got Misfits Gaming 0-3, Dignitas 1-3 on a 3-game loss, and Queso again at 1-3, really struggling to find their rhythm.
And we, of course, have a lot of Clash Royale left to be played. And make sure you're here each and every time. We are here Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Those weekdays, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday, 10 in the West, 1 in the East. So set aside some brunch or some lunch and join us for some great Clash Royale action. Of course, so you don't miss it, make sure you share, like, follow, subscribe on YouTube. Go ahead and ring that bell so you get notifications. We are here all the time. And studies have shown, just so you know, that a woodchuck can, in fact, chuck 32 metric tons of wood. I'm Rich Slayton. That's Andrew Guy. We will see you back here in the OGN Super Arena.
Yeah!